And this is something we're continuing to get information from it. Let me put a little call out to the public. If there are people that you know, even listening, or you yourself,
Hello.
been in these programs, you can contact me confidentially.
I'm back.
We will not disclose your identity, but we need the information you have, no matter how trivial you think it is, so that we can get it to the right people in Congress, in the White House, but more importantly, into these law enforcement teams, so that this mess can be straightened out before it's too late. So we're making
Ready to play.
particularly ones with actionable intelligence. You may not
I've
think what
been
you
given
know
a
is
reward, so I want to
important.
open
It
the
is part of
packs
this
and see
disclosure of the billion piece puzzle
what I
that we're
got.
trying to put together piece by piece by piece.
And I'm
for
listening
35 years. The more information we have,
to alien stuff, UFO stuff, the new hot topic right now after the file release. Wish me luck.
As a final point, because I know we don't have much time left, it seems like a paradigm shift is going to be necessary for humanity in the near future. My question is, do you think it's more likely that a sort of disclosure event would help to accelerate that paradigm shift, or is it necessary for that to occur first in order for people to properly embrace the knowledge of the ET presence?
Well, I believe we're out of time for it to be sequential and linear. So I think, it's interesting. When we talk to the Mountain Street, the average person believes they don't have a lot of information. I get stopped if I go out to the building on my own, and I'm just regular people. And, my sense is that people are ready for this. I think close to 6% of the population believes we're not alone. The government's hiding something. They don't know the granular details, perhaps, but that's already baked into the cake in a lot of people's paradigm. I think what's missing is when this gets officially confirmed, what is the narrative coming from our leaders and the media? And is it the narrative that leads to panic and war and chaos, which is what this cabal wants? Or is it a narrative that says, hey, we're not alone in the universe. That's very good news. Number two, they're not hostile. Number three, the technologies we've developed from them will end poverty and end pollution within 15 or 20 years. And we're now going to start on the path to make peaceful contact with them so that humans become part of an interplanetary family. See, that narrative is very different from the sky's falling, they're here to eat us for lunch, they're raping and pillaging, and we need $100 trillion in the world economy to do Independence Day, the movie, where we go take aliens back like this, right? So those are two very different outcomes. Those are two very different narratives. Unfortunately, I'd say out of 100 voices, 99 of them are spinning in the narrative that can only lead to catastrophe. And that's what worries me the most. I mean, people say what keeps me up at night the most is that. And then the same operatives move in and brainwash people with little information on the subject, like Tucker Carlson or the president or the president's son, who I've met. And they get all their information mixed up. And this happens all over the world. I mean, at every senior level of government I've met with, including the ministers of defense of Canada, Australia, Great Britain. I meet with all these sorts of folks, and it's kind of like you throw all this stuff into a blender.
Hopefully it's good. Hopefully it's good. Okay. 93. I like it. Bring one more pass. Please, bring.
That is the narrative that's I've had a number of people deal with subculture as well as journalists say that's the narrative we need because they want more funding.
93 pass, 93 dribble, 91 for.
But
he's good. He's good.
Right? We go in and
might replace Petit.
But the public was
Yes, might.
Fear. I went through that very much so. In fact, I was on a disclosure project tour. That event happened just a few months after the 2001 National Press Club event that 800 million people saw. And in 2001, because you can see it on my archive. And it was a lot of I saw the reaction. It was a master stroke of galvanizing the public through fear. Singular event. That then led to policies that cost trillions of dollars and hundreds of thousands of lives unnecessarily. And by the military industrial contractors and Halliburton and Dick Cheney and that whole crowd. So I'm not saying 9/11 was terrible. I'm just saying what we did and what the public and the media went along with, almost everyone agrees now was a huge mistake. The question is, will the disclosure of this subject be that kind of event? Or will it be a hopeful event? An event that says we can survive this period of time. And I think for younger folks like yourself and others, there's so much despair that we don't have the solutions for these intractable problems for the atmosphere and the environment. 8 billion people on the planet, 3 billion of them living in abject poverty, and terrorism, the habit have not. Is there a solution? The good news is, yes, we already have it. We don't have to develop it. We have to get it out of the black box, right? So I tell people it's actually a very hopeful message if we make it hopeful. And if we don't, it'll be catastrophic disclosure. So I would say, let's not do catastrophic. Let's do real disclosure. And to that end, one of the things we need, and I make a call to people like Jake and his team, get us the evidence the materials that some of those operations have, and we will put it on our blockchain and release it, and then I'll get it.
That's the thing that everybody's asking for all the time.
Well, that's what was supposed to happen last year, and everyone got waved off. They were told it would be catastrophic to do it. Let's see if we can get this sorted out in the new administration. But here we are 8 months later, and what? So I think that we need what I call catastrophic disclosure, asymmetric disclosure. And what does that mean? It means that enough whistleblowers come with enough hard evidence and proof, and that gets put out. The system cannot be taken down. Like my TikTok channel just got taken off completely without warning for no reason. And people should write to TikTok and complain. By the way, it's outrageous. Cancel the censorship of free speech. TikTok should be shut down permanently. Haven't done this on a subject that's important, frankly. There should be a cost to acting like fascists. If they're going to act like totalitarian fascists, they should be shut down. All right, that's my opinion on it. But I think that if we see this go forward in the right way and with an asymmetric cache of evidence, that will then put Congress's feet to the fire, but also the White House, right? Because they will not be able to just kick the can down the road. So I want to make a comment here. I know I'm sounding ancient, and I kind of am at this point, but we thought, everyone in my team thought, 94, 95, this would all be over, all disclosed. And Clinton got threatened, got intimidated, got induced not to push on it anymore for various reasons I'm going to. And here we are 30 years later, right? So I think that something's going to have to get here. And I think that what I've heard recently from people in the White House, those very close to the president, is that he's aware of this, but he's wanting to delay doing anything to the last part of his administration, like that last few months. A huge mistake. This is the same thing every president has done. And at the end of the day, they get to the edge of that and they pull back. They get to the edge of this cliff and they pull back. Same thing with members of Congress. But I think the only way to make that change is an asymmetric disclosure of materials and whistleblowers and evidence, hard evidence, that comes out where neither the corrupt media nor the political establishment can wiggle off that hook. It's there, it's huge, and we would, if we receive such a cache, I will review it to remove anything that I think should be removed. For example, I will not allow out the operational schematics for an anti-gravity device that can be turned to a missile delivery system by any number of terrorists. So there are legitimate national security concerns. But you don't want a terrorist in Mogadishu dropping a dirty bomb in 30 seconds from Mogadishu to downtown DC. In fact, you can do that with these technologies, right? Or 5 minutes, at most 5 minutes. So there are aspects of this that have to be looked at. But the technologies that would give you free energy for your house and car, that should be out, right? That should have been out before I was born. Certainly before everyone was supposed to be listening was born. And we need to acknowledge the presence of these visitors. We need to make a peaceful diplomatic initiative to them. So there are a lot of things that can happen right now. And they should have happened decades ago. And I remember talking to Senator Barry Goldwater before he died out in Scottsdale. He was the senior senator from Arizona who ran for president against Lyndon Johnson in 1964. And I was at his home in Paradise Valley, Scottsdale area. And he turned to me and he said, Dr. Greer, there's a goddamn mistake then and a goddamn mistake now that this was ever. And he says, but as the leader of the Republican Party and a conservative military member of the Senate, senior member of the Senate, he says, I could never get information on this. And he had a friend, he was an Air Force Reserve general, by the way, Senator Goldwater. You people can Google Senator Barry Goldwater. Arch conservative, very controversial. I work with every left, right, center. I don't care. This stuff is above all that nonsense. Truman Show politics, I call it. But I was at his home, and he said, I said, well, how far did you get? He said, well, I was very good friends with General Curtis LeMay. And he was the nickname Bomb back to the Stone Age LeMay because he was saying we should use nuclear weapons in Vietnam, which was a disaster. It cost Goldwater the election, frankly. The people are like, God, but basically, Curtis LeMay had been chief of staff of the Air Force and had at some point been read in. Senator Goldwater asked General Curtis LeMay about it. And Curtis LeMay says, damn it, Barry, I can't even get into that area anymore. And if you ever ask me about this again, I will personally see that you are court-martialed out of the Air Force. Boom. And I said, I could believe it. And this was 90s, mid-90s maybe. And I said, Senator, was he joking? He said, oh no, he was serious as a heart attack. And I never brought it up again. And then he pivoted to say, well, who's involved with this now? And I started naming certain names. There are people on the committee keeping the secret. I know who a number of them are. And I named one of them. I named a bunch of them. He didn't know. But then I named Admiral Bobby Ray. He said, oh, Bobby Ray and I are friends. I'll reach out to him for you. I said, all right. And he did. And I get a call back. And he goes, I can never make a call like that for you again. That was whatever Admiral Emmons said, except the fear of God. And his daughter, Joanne Goldwater flew to Arizona. He says, Daddy, you can't make another call like that. It's too dangerous. So that confirmed that Admiral Bobby Ray was very involved with this.
This is a very, very deep subject that we could spend countless hours discussing. But you know as well as anybody how deep it goes. But I just want to thank you for your time today. I really appreciate it. And I really like the kind of hopeful message that we kind of just before about how, you know, the way that this rolls out is kind of up to us, and that's what I want to leave people with, because that's the way I choose to look at it.
But for the benefit of our viewers, someone out there that doesn't know who you are, tell us who you are, give us your credentials and where you've worked.
Well, I'm a physicist and a scientist. I've worked at various government institutions, one of them being Los Alamos National Labs in Los Alamos, New Mexico. And also, I'm more prominently known for working at Area S4, which is about 15 miles south of Area 51 in the Nevada Desert, which is a top secret government research facility.
Where did you go to school?
I went to school at MIT and Caltech, also a couple other junior colleges here and there in California.
And what was your field of study?
Field of study was physics and electronics technology.
And when you were working for
The new nice and lovely Ultra Fresh Deo with zero alcohol keeps you fresh all day.
The alien UFO files are being broadly released, and Donald Trump says that he plans on releasing information to the public considering UFOs and aliens. In this same time frame, Fox News says that 17 earthquakes hit Area 51 in one day. Okay, I'm going to show you this clip from Fox News, but then I'm also going to show you a clip by a very popular pastor giving a complete history on the fallen angels and how this may actually be a plan for them to make their return back to the earth physically. Okay, I'm going to show you this information. I think it's vital in today's time because this can actually take place considering everything else that we've seen. Okay, let's hop in this video, watch it and react to it before we do me a big favor. Hit that like button for the algorithm so that this video can reach more people like yourself. I truly appreciate you guys. Let's hop in.
We're going to be releasing as much as we can in the near future. It's been in the minds of people for a long time. And that is such, they want to find out about the UFOs and anything having to do with UFO or related material. I'm going to be releasing a lot of things from that we have. And I think some of it's going to be very interesting to people.
And renewed entertainment at the exact same time. 17 earthquakes rattled Area 51, the classified military base in Nevada. Now, FBI Director Capell says the release could be happening very soon. Mike Diaz has been outspoken on UFOs. He said aliens are not on the way, they are already here. Joining me now is retired Navy Admiral and oceanographer Timothy Gallaudet. Admiral, thank you for being with us here today. So, I think that any one of these conversations we start with, you're a serious person. I mean, you're an admiral in the United States Navy, and you've spoken to many people in the United States military about what they have seen, correct?
That's correct, Will. And really, the bottom line here from the president promising to release these UFO files is an open admission that the U.S. government has been in possession of UFO data, videos, information, and material evidence for over 8 decades. And I recently joined a number of former government officials in this recently.
Hello, and thanks for joining us live here on EATV. I'm Guy Mowbray, and I'll be joined for commentary by Sue Smith, the former England forward. We're very much looking forward to this division rivals game. What are we going to get from this one, Sue?
It's great to be here. I think it's important that both teams are focused from the off there when they start quickly, but I'd love to see some goals. Hopefully I've not just cased in.
The ball's rolling and we're underway.
Classified and secure. And I know other officials who now touch those programs and not allowed access. And that's very credible.
This is how the hosts line up. Allison is in goal. Ashraf Hakimi plays with Nuno Mendes in the fullback roles. And they go with just one in attack. Well, he's lost the ball, and any chance has gone.
Yeah, the position, it was spot on there, wasn't it?
Right now. But there's
Guimaraes.
they exist, and as you mentioned, we're seeing more proof of that.
Here's the lineup for the Krakens. Thibaut Courtois is in goal. Ousmane Dembele plays with Oyarzabal out wide. And the main man up front is Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang.
The movement speeds that we can't reproduce, and he was not able to confirm was an adversary. He was not enough.
Pay attention to what he's about to say right now. That if the alien files come out
Aubameyang.
and they are able to
Krakens a little careless there as the ball changes hands.
Talk about things that would further increase the delusion in the lie that these are aliens from other planets.
Vitinha.
And
That's how to play it through. And play it in now. Well, that hasn't taken long. In front already.
Would be secondary to that story. I mean, period. I'm hoping that a little bit more about the evidence. I think it's great. Things will be done really well.
Okay, I'm going to show you this video right here. This is Pastor Alamo. He's doing a sermon on Nephilim and he involves fallen angels and even the UFO in the same. Okay,
Possession changes hands. One back by Krakens.
A good bit of it. I'm telling you, every moment of information is vital to the overall conclusion about the UFO files. And the fact that these things are not going to be actual aliens. They're going to be
Ferran Torres.
more than most
Vitinha.
making a real story.
This could be. It's the second goal. Two early scores to delight their supporters. 2-0 then. We get started again.
So these fallen angels left their natural habitation, which is the spiritual realm, and they had sex.
Beautifully weighted ball.
And the two in the New Testament, remember this.
And the flags up.
Jude.
Offside to call.
Jude comes directly from the book of Enoch. Turn with me to the book of Jude, chapter 1, verse number 6. And the angels. And getting clearer than that.
Perfectly anticipated. Really well
Who
worked.
had not their first estate. In other words, in the Greek, that means proper place. But left their own habitation. That's a very important word. Underline that word. He hath preserved in everlasting chains under darkness under the judgment of the great day. Now, there's two things I want you to notice in this passage of Scripture. First of all, these fallen angels kept not their first estate. In other words, they didn't stay where they were supposed to. They didn't stay in the proper place. Their sphere of authority.
Ball in behind.
But worse than that, they left their own habitation.
Spot on.
He's not repeating what he said for emphasis. He's saying two different things. They left their first estate. But not only that, they left their own habitation. Now, the word habitation is translated from the Greek word ukenkavia. Ukenkavia. And it refers to a dwelling place that you inhabit, such as a house. But it can also refer to a person's body, because our soul inhabits our body. Do you realize when you die, your body goes to the ground? It begins to disintegrate. But your soul and your spirit go ahead. Now, when you those two terms interchangeably, because the soul cannot be separated from the spirit. Did you know that? The Lord God to divide asunder between soul and spirit. So, the two different
Well,
things.
you can tell what
The
the
Bible
fans
tells
think
us
of
the
that
soul and the
decision.
spirit are two
They're
different
certain
things.
that it should have
But
been a
because they're
penalty.
always joined together, the Bible also uses them interchangeably. So if I'm speaking and I say, when you die, your spirit goes to heaven,
Marcel
and then a couple
Desailly.
minutes later I go, again, remember when you die, your soul goes to heaven, I can do that. Because where the spirit
Really
is, the soul
nicely
is, and where the
played.
soul is, the
What can they
spirit is.
do with this now? And this could be terrific.
Well,
Another
here's what I
goal.
want you
What a
to understand.
scoreline this is for them.
Because our soul inhabits our body, this word ukenkavia
Emerick
can
Aubameyang.
refer to as a body. Not a house. It simply refers to any dwelling place that's inhabited. So, in the New Testament, especially Paul, he picks up on this and he'll always refer to the body as the ukenkavia. The dwelling place that our soul and our spirit inhabit.
Nicely won to see off the thread.
Chapter 5, verse number 2, I'll tell you what I'm talking about.
Promising that, didn't it?
For this we dwell, earnestly desiring to be clothed upon with our house, which is from heaven. How in the world will we be clothed with a house?
And the Krakens won't pays
So,
off. They have the ball
let me
back.
try to explain this. You see the word house? That word house is translated
Through on goal.
in that same Greek word, ukenkavia, and it refers to our spiritual body. In fact, I want you to notice how the NLT translates this first. It's a much better translation. Now, we were weary in our present bodies, and we long to put on our heavenly bodies.
Well, that's been won
Like
really
both.
smartly.
You see the word bodies? That
Yeah,
means the word
Emerick Aubameyang.
ukenkavia. Because he sees the body, simply well to be
Patient
soul and
build
spirit.
up, but not quite
So
the
the
end
verse number
product.
6 tells us that these fallen angels didn't stay where they were
Oh, yes,
supposed to.
what a way
But
to
not only
silence
that,
this
it implies
crowd.
that they left their spiritual bodies and they inhabited a physical body to have sex with the bodies of
Desailly.
men. And for that,
Bastoni.
God placed them in chains.
No need to force
in a place
things.
called Tartarus.
Content to pass it around.
Which brings us to 2 Peter chapter 2, verses 4 and 5. This is
The
the second.
Krakens have possession again.
Okay, so if you heard it correctly, when he said that all
That
of
will
these-
keep the
that-
attack moving
that-
nicely.
And they got physical bodies.
And
Physical
the
bodies
shot
are human.
thwarted.
Their
Well,
bodies
he's
are
read the
human.
situation
Able to make
perfectly.
it.
Top class, wasn't it?
Right. So
They've got to find reverse gear now.
I'm holding something to put him on the
Oh, nice vision in that
I'm
pass.
saying that the fallen angels
Oh,
able to
against the post.
see
Over the
somehow,
byline, corner kick to
physical
go.
bodies.
They decide against putting it in.
Then what's the difference between
Ball
fallen
lost
angels
and the chance
in
gone.
that time and fallen angels today? All fallen angels are not in hell. They are out
Yeah,
there today.
Emerick
They are
Aubameyang.
still fallen angels. What's the difference between them gaining physical bodies?
And the attack
Okay.
is over. Really good
And if they do have
defending.
physical bodies, it can be now even use physical things, such as a flying object. Something to think about, man. It's crazy. It gets even crazier. So, I need y'all to say, because I'm telling you, the information here is
Yeah,
insane.
Emerick Aubameyang.
Check this out. I'll continue. Second place that refers to Genesis chapter 6. So that's what it says. For God
Play
spared
back
not
to
the
Allison.
angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell. Now, that's not a good translation. If you look that up in the Greek, it's Tartarus.
And with that, the first half
It's
in
below
Lisbon comes to an end.
Yeah. And delivered them into chains by darkness, be reserved unto judgment. And he spared not the old world, but he saved no the old person, the preacher of righteousness, bringing in the blood upon the world to the ungodly. Now notice the time period this is talking about. This is all one passage of Scripture. We put the verses in there. What time period is he talking about? It's the time period right before the flood. And it's referring to angels that did not stay where they were supposed to, and they left their habitation. They actually inhabited a physical body in order to have sex with the daughters of men. But the bottom line is this. If you follow proper hermeneutical principles, you have to conclude that the sons of God in Genesis chapter 6, verse number 2, refer to fallen angels. And these fallen angels left with proper habitation and had sex with mortal women, and they created a super race of people known as the Nephilim. Now, according to Jude, I always say chapter 1, verse 6, because there's only one chapter, and I get all these emails of, which chapter, Pastor? There's only one. So according to Jude, chapter 1, verse 6, and 2 Peter chapter 2, verses 4 and 5, God cast all of the fallen angels who left their proper habitation and had sex with mortal women into hell, which specifically Tartarus, and he placed them in chains in darkness. But that doesn't mean that all of the fallen angels are in chains. You have two groups. Those who are bound in chains in Tartarus, and those who are free. Those who are bound in chains are the ones who left their natural habitation and had sex with mortal women. Those who are free rebelled with Satan, but they didn't leave their natural habitation. They didn't have sex with mortal women. And Paul refers to being in Ephesians chapter 6, verse number 12. For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against powers, of this dark world, against the spiritual principles of evil in the realm. If every one of the demons that were fallen were already chained, we would be wrestling against them.
Can he get the crossing?
There are two groups.
But still
Those
danger.
who were chained,
Oh, the keenest of
they
reflexes.
left the proper
His
place.
agility was phenomenal. He
And they
had
had
so
sex with
little
demons.
time. Truly
Paul
world-class
lists the
start.
different classes of fallen angels. People are still
And he goes,
operates today.
terrific.
And that is a contact with the fathers and place the
Oh, he
chains
tried to
in darkness.
power it
Now,
in.
let me ask you,
Composure was surely the key.
if these fallen angels risk everything
So much given
by not
away
staying
as
where they were
Family
supposed to, and inhabiting a physical body, to have sex with the daughters of men.
This is a very
Oyazabal.
important part right here, John. You have to pay attention to this.
Good ball. Decent looking attack, this.
If all this is going to out and actually putting, right?
Terrific bit of
then
blocking.
We know that it's not alien. We know that it's falling in. We know that.
And the look towards goal.
They're listening. It's going to
And
be-
that's a shame for them. Nothing doing.
Okay, it's going to be a continuation. Okay, listen.
Space out wide, and they're using it.
All right, fix it.
Why did they do that?
The attack broken up.
They had to have known that by crossing that line, there was a good possibility that God was going to do what he did. And then he would cast them into heaven. Or they thought he thought that hard. And that they would be placed in
On
jail.
to
And the
Aubameyang.
place of torment and darkness into the jail. So,
The defence has done its job to stop any trouble
I know that the
brewing.
daughters of men are very beautiful. Let's be honest, West is pretty powerful. You do a lot of men and do crazy things because
Under
of
a
that.
fair bit of pressure here.
That is so reason they risk everything to have sex with
This
people.
is an excellent
In order
run.
to produce offspring.
Oh, look at this. Away they go on the counter.
I believe they had a better reason to do
Counter
it.
fizzling out in the end.
Let me show you something
Yeah, it
interesting. And this is why
almost
it's
came
supposed to
off,
study
didn't
these
it?
things.
Promising looking ball.
Did you get that?
And it must be.
Myself, 8,000.
More sensational from the goalkeeper.
15,000 in my
Yeah, his
season to
reaction
my
speed
loss.
was outstanding.
And it
And
just
stop
we
what
start
looked like a
studying
certain
and
goal.
translating from the original language. So let me show you something. All right? Jump down to verse number 1.
And they've gone with a short
Chapter
one.
6. Notice what it says. It's the same chapter. Chapter 6 is the chapter of the flood.
Well, what a place to lose the ball just when the chance was on.
This is Noah's ancestry. Where did he get that? Chapter 5. Chapter 3, chapter 5.
Edging ever closer to goal here.
In other words, his ancestry. We're going to go through. Noah was just man.
Ball back here. Hits the upright.
You know, walk to God.
Well, a promising looking attack, but just unable to take
Remember
advantage.
that?
Well, they were so unlucky not to score there. It's a game of inches, though, and things just don't seem to be going their way right now. They need one of these chances to go
This might
in.
not be appropriate for a 4-year. Hey, I'm changing look at
João
you know, they're
Neves.
going to look at more and more
Could
streets.
turn out to be a really good ball.
Right, I just told you. You know, right? But notice that it says
In the
no
right
was perfect
position to cut out
in
the
generation.
pass.
Now, the word perfect is translated from the
Has
Hebrew
to
word
turn them
amun.
around.
And in this context, it means, I mean,
Rodrigo! Back up the pass.
pure in the sense of healthy genes. So, let's take verse number 9 again, and I want you to notice
And
what
the
this is saying.
goalkeeper has made it
These are the
his.
generations of Noah. This is his ancestry.
Well, the wood weren't just about keeping them in this. It has been chance after chance, though. You just think if they score another, you fear this could get ugly.
A really open flow to this game now. End-to-end stuff. And denied by a top draw tackle.
Did well there. Brilliant challenge. That's quality, that.
Pass as precise as they come.
Well, was healthy. His genes were uncorrupted.
We're inside the final quarter of an hour now.
That is
The
crazy.
Kraken's getting themselves
And if
moving
that
here.
is proper, is
But not the end result they wanted from an encouraging position. It's offside. That will be that.
why his ancestry has not been tested by fallen angels. That's what it means by fallen. Now, this gives us a
They've
little
nicked
insight
it and can now push
as to why
forward.
these fallen angels would do
Has a go.
incredible
Oh,
aspects
it's in the
of
post.
themselves. They have sex with humans.
Looked like
have
something
purpose
building there, but no
for what they
longer.
did. Does anyone know what that purpose is? Well,
That's a
yes,
good pass.
it was the concept from the beginning.
Oh, they've
Because
lost
we go
it.
all
The
the way back
attack is
to the Garden of
over.
Eden. Adam and Eve were created, and they had no sin nature.
We've entered the final 10
They were
minutes.
perfectly innocent. God said you can take a fruit of any tree that you want except one. Isn't it amazing that God always has something that he says, this is mine.
Hakimi.
And here's what's interesting, because it was their God that's in the garden, they still had to take care of the tree that produced the fruit, but they weren't supposed to take that.
On to Aubameyang.
Right?
And they've scored. This is not yet over. They'll have to be quick about it, but just one more needed now.
And we're looking at this, why did you do that?
Rodrigo.
God gives peace. He gives a messianic prophecy.
And he's in now.
Notice what he says in Genesis chapter 3, verse 15. So he's talking about
Oh, an
that was the
incredible
enmity
tackle.
between me and the woman.
Does well
Between
there to
Isaiah and
stop the
Persia.
chance, didn't
It's
he?
a great by hand and now
Desire
just
there
bruised
to get it back.
and sealed.
And there's a chance
Now,
for the
this is
break
actually
here.
a primeval prophecy of the coming Messiah. What we mean by primeval is the blood. Before there was even the blood,
Bastoni.
God gave a prophecy of the coming Messiah. Now, let me explain what I'm saying. First of all, the woman doesn't have seed. I believe. The word seed translated the Hebrew word zeros. You've seen it. In fact, in the Old Testament, it
This could
translates
get
the Hebrew and
interesting.
Greek, what was Septuagint, the word sperma in Jewish. Our English word sperm is transliterated from that Greek word. So this is
Guimaraes.
clearly implying that someday
On
a
to
Savior would be
Aubameyang.
conceived.
Not long left, and here they come. But able to deal with the danger decisively. Well
That's what it's
defended.
Secondly, I want you to notice that a personal pronoun is used in Genesis chapter 3, verse 15. In
Raphael.
other words, the woman's seed is a person. Look at verse 15 again. And I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between
They
your
might be
seed and her seed. He, listen close,
Oh,
should bruise your head.
superb
And you should
defensive
bruise
work.
his. Because of our ungodliness,
And the
they
game
all
comes to an
sin.
end with the home fans in positive mood. That's the win they came to see.
Yeah, there wasn't much in it, to be honest. It was a real competitive game. There were chances at both ends, and they probably just about edged it overall, though. Deserved the result, in my opinion.
I was close.
That's right. Alright. But do you see that personal pronoun? He shall bruise your head. He is the Hebrew word who. Who is a personal pronoun, third person, masculine, singular. Singular, not plural. Which tells us that the woman's seed refers to a singular person. A man. And that man is Jesus Christ. So Genesis 3:15 is the very first prophecy of the coming Messiah. Someday, a man's going to be supernaturally conceived and born of a virgin. And because he's going to be born of a virgin, he wouldn't partake of the inherited sin nature of Adam's children. Yeah. He wasn't born a sinner because he was conceived of the Holy Spirit. Anyone with me? And of course, there would be an intense hatred between the supernatural man and the serpent, which is Satan. The serpent would bruise his heel, but he would crush the serpent's head. So in having sex with humans, the fallen angels were trying to corrupt the seed of all mankind and persecute the Messiah from coming. If they can breed, they're going to produce a hybrid race. Not just human, but fallen angel. Now we know why they were so wicked. And if they have children, and they have children, and pretty soon the whole human race is going to be tainted. And then there's not going to be someone like Noah who was pure in his generations. Healthy genes, which would stop this prophecy from happening.
Hello and welcome to a stadium that always produces a lively atmosphere. We're at the Estadio do Benfica in Lisbon. I'm Derek Ray and I'm joined here on the gantry for commentary by Stuart Robson. And we have action coming up for you from foot rivals. How do you see it panning out?
When looking forward to this game, you can't help but notice there are some great matchups all over the pitch, particularly in those central areas. Whichever team wins more of those battles will win the game.
Eric, we'll see all the babies
This is the lineup for the home team. Alisson gets the noted goal. Ashraf Hakimi plays with Nuno Mendes in the fullback positions. And the striker today is Ferran Torres. Throw-ins given. And here's the lineup for fish and chips. David Beckham starts alongside Corentin Tolisso.
They must finish here.
And a goal! Right on the bat. No wonder they're jumping for joy.
In the world, and promise him the entire world that he is now will believe that Jesus will not have our sins. And that means that we will have
Cherki. Well, this is whetting the appetite for fish and chips. Now the good tackle.
Trying to cut off the line and also stop it from those that can believe. And I think that's the same thing. I think the same thing.
Opportunity to level it. Still possibilities. Well, not a header that worried the goalkeeper at all.
Well, as a defender, if you can't win it, you have to make it difficult for your opponent, and he certainly did that.
Right, the Bible speaks about revelation. That the beast.
Well, credit where credit's due. A big occasion for him, Stuart. This is 500th appearance for the club. Would you believe it?
Well, what more can you say about him? To play that many games with such composure and skill shows what an outstanding professional he's been over the years. Wonderful achievement.
Teammates available. Well, nothing comes of it. It looked promising.
And this could not have been done unless there was a supernatural
Rivaldo.
Supernatural demon.
Ferreira.
That's exactly what it is.
And there it breaks down, but credit to the defence.
Well, that's a good turnover, isn't it?
And that's been the plan of Satan, is to get us to not believe in worship. And so if they're worshiping somebody else that appears to have the ability to do miraculous signs of power, they're not going to worship.
And does well to keep it in play.
Now, Jesus said in Matthew 24, verse 7, for the Son of Man returns, who is like it was.
Putellas.
You can fly to the last day, all things are going to the first day, we're going to linger, and they will cross over.
Vitor Ferreira.
Not place. In the house. In the seat. Now,
Shearer.
I don't believe that they will leave the habitation of finance. I think they know that.
Just straying offside.
That's what I'm saying, they're giving one of them fallen angels. And they cast them down in the cars and they placed them in chains. And I don't really want to do that again.
Nesh.
They weren't cast in the cars.
In search of an equaliser.
They weren't. You did that for leaving the first mistake. It was cool.
But then the one that goes astray.
Therefore, I think they're going to cross the line because they're going to be so long.
Plenty of space out wide for fish and chips.
We're going to talk about next week.
Who wants to make a challenge?
After her, that was about something. More about the
Plenty of support
and
here.
I believe because you guys are great understanding that you love Jesus Christ. I'm not questioning myself.
Good looking run. That's how to defend.
Yeah, super
The
stuff there.
citizens of seats that were invited by the friends and family and they went to so. In the world.
Now this could be dangerous.
Because I believe it's going to say more and more you ever. And you're going to say, they repented. And government's going to step in to really help to protect. Oh, yeah. But Jesus always says, we talked about the end time.
That's a good looking shot. And Boyle rolled right across line. Gets in. They're looking really relaxed and confident. And not giving the opposition much of a look in.
Well, as you can see here, the initial attempt is good, but his reaction is brilliant. He was so alert there.
The good thing is to make sure that someone comes in. Or at least a few people in this. And the best way to do that is to deceive you.
Good
Start off by
defending
saying,
out
if
for
you're
a
a good
throw-in.
person, you go ahead. Deception. No one's good enough to go ahead. That's why we need Jesus.
Mendes.
Each engineer are going to go and say, science says, we see these UFOs, or these things, and the rapture comes.
Intercepted effortlessly.
In Christianity, what we'll say. Maybe not.
Oh, big moments.
What if you
Excellent goalkeeping.
to have evidence, to have videos, to have
So the corner played into the
tons of
box.
government officials, including
Both
soldiers
hands on it.
and
Good
police
goalkeeping.
pilots, and all these people,
Hakimi.
experts in the field of UFOs, confirming that aliens are real, confirming that there's actual evidence. And when the time comes, when the Turks leave,
Ferreira.
it's going to be a perfect opportunity to say that.
Really good challenge.
It's like after how long. And people that don't believe in Jesus are not going to believe in that.
Now fish and chips might be onto something. Oh, it's there for her. Another one. It's turning into an absolute demolition job.
Well, here's the replay, and he shows great awareness to play this through ball. And just look at that finish. 1v1 against the keeper, and she hits it with power. It's a great goal.
Vitinha. It's gone in! And well, he will celebrate on the back of that.
Christians, fans are alive. They're doing it. What do you do with Christians? But every time, they're out there. They're pushing out there.
Civics like that. Just to clarify, the people who called the meeting, who were they tied up? Was it a government meeting? Were there government officials there? Talk a little bit about that. That was one of the big questions. Who called this meeting? Who, you don't have to give names, but who were these people essentially?
Well, they were special forces operatives. They were really higher levels in the military. They were really higher levels in some of these arenas, and they had very high level clearance. They worked in different parts of the military. And they were also involved in wars, different things, because they had a lot of data that they could bring, and they were very close to a number of the key individuals that report directly to the vice office. And they would advise and get data information, and they themselves had a lot of first-hand encounters with entities and beings. And so even to the point, I've been saying this, but even to the point that they were showing us on their phones things that they had personally photographed. And these guys, when they were talking to us, they were not looking for anything, they weren't trying to gain anything from this. They were actually very emotional and very concerned for the state of the church, very concerned for the things they're doing, because the ultimate thing they're pushing them is an agenda of enlightenment. This is what they're trying to get ahead of. Is that many people in these spheres are saying the Christians are going to be in the way of this enlightenment by these beings that want to come down, these benevolent beings that are going to appear, whether they're hordes, UFOs, different types of manifestations, however they appear, they're going to come and bring enlightenment. And the narrative is going to be, and this is for their time, the narrative is going to be, the Bible is going to be,
and it doesn't come much closer than this, does it?
You can see it here by being, God is not divided in shape, it is something that's greater than the universe, and greater than ultimate.
And the whistle is sounded for half-time in this game.
To lay out the data for it and show us where we're going. So not only do we see our eyes images, which, probably images we test today, plugging on their phone, they show it to us, of entities they encountered their stories, and then people that are directly involved in this, and what their agenda really is. And the agenda is ultimately to get us to a state of enlightenment, to push Christianity aside, and say there's a greater knowledge that we need to have. That's the agenda.
Okay, I have a lot of questions, and I'll start with that. So these, with the years, and maybe you know definitively, I know, that these individuals were coming to you all, bringing you all together with the knowledge of higher-ups in the government. Maybe even, was this something that seemed sanctioned by higher-ups in the U.S. government, or was it something that's more independent of this group?
It was independent of this group, but it was connected to higher-ups in the government. There was even individuals who called into one of the two meetings that we involved. I was in one, another group of pastors, and another with the same group of people. And one senator did call in, and he called in and began to say, tell all your pastors, tell all your people, it's more serious than you can imagine.
Are you able to say who that senator was or not here?
Well, I'm okay to say who it was. I wasn't in that particular meeting, so this is me hearing it from my friend who was in that meeting. But he said it was Eric Wilson. And that he began to lay it out, and I had a lot of respect for him. That's allegedly
well, fish and chips very much bossing the game up to now. Will there be a response in the second 45?
Images that seem to be real entities, described as entities, and what else did you see or experience in terms of the evidence? Because that's the big thing that everybody's talking about, right? What is the evidence? Is there physical evidence? And we've heard for years that there's physical evidence. So what images did you describe to me?
Yeah, well, there was translucent beings that were very tall. These images, they were standing in trees, they were nearby, and you could see them. Some of them had elongated arms.
Just have to make sure they don't get caught on the counter-attack.
Again, these are images you're looking at this and showing you this is an image I took personally as the work they gave. So watching this, and one of the questions we did ask them too, Billy, is this: sometimes there's no there. So where's the there? And we really need to get down to a clear documentation and data and names.
Well, it comes to nothing in the end.
Looking up for on the stage, and we said,
into the middle.
We'll go public with these names because that will get them in trouble. It will get some of us on a lens we don't want to be on. And truly, I'm tracking some of these individuals that are speaking, and they're calling themselves Christians. They're on some of the most relevant podcasts in the world, and they're making very big statements, which really they have an esoteric meaning, which means they're very narrow and doing special knowledge of what's going on. And they're really emotional and deception. And this is what they begin to educate us on. If we just really have the knowledge of this, and they begin to show us these things, that this is indeed the last thing of their deception. They want to bring forward to brainwash the church, scare the church, and this also led to high technology. Their discussions with us about Project Ruby, technology, all these things. But then this, in my book, punished.
Superb stop.
think you just said that these individuals that are putting out
Played over.
and that they are trying
Quick counter could be on. Can they use their pace?
Everybody that's doing
Beautiful ball. What a save. So out over the byline and a corner. Well, he's gone short with it. That is a very fine challenge in difficult circumstances. Play turning a bit stodgy in the middle of the park.
If we begin to talk to us about what everybody's seeing in the sky, all these things, all these UFO boards, what people are doing, they say 90% of what we're seeing, and this is from all the stats together, 90% is just high level government technology. So we're really seeing drones, we're seeing advanced things like the Tic Tac, advanced technology, super high. We're saying most of what we're seeing is advanced technology, but there's a 10% rendering that is legitimately something else. And that means we're saying, okay, what are they? What are we actually looking at? If it's not tactics, it's not something else. What is it we're actually seeing? And this leads me, of course, to Genesis 6, the book of Enoch, all those things. I believe that the one with reverse, following the technology, and all that with various things. That was good. So that was going to be my next. We're going to think that.
Whoa.
Minge.
Hold on now. So I didn't, this
now
is my first time hearing too. I didn't watch too much this one.
Rafael
Just like how
Leao.
That's
a nice ball.
You know, these guys are seeing but they're saying that
and there's a quality
it's all
defender in
fallen
action.
angel technology.
Well, I
Because
think
the stuff
that's a
that's real.
goal-saving intervention
Stuff
there.
that's real is actually fallen angel. And like that's what I was saying. These fallen angels were able to inhabit human bodies.
And having a go!
They were able to
Well,
have
the goalkeeper
bodies
managed to
that
make the
were
save without much difficulty in the end.
I don't think that they took a body of an individual and just, you know, like how demons do, and live inside of a human. I don't think that was the case.
Hakimi.
It was more so.
Textbook example of how to cut it out.
Have bodies
And
that
goes
were
for
physical.
goal!
And they were able to make
Strained every sinew
it.
to get there.
It would be far-fetched to say that they're able to also have
A
physical
decent
ways of
delivery.
moving around.
Could
They
be more
do have a
trouble.
human style body.
Oh,
Maybe
it's a
they do
terrific challenge.
Maybe they're not. Maybe they're in and out of the
There's 20 minutes remaining now.
But when he's saying possibly that
It's a good-looking ball.
Maybe
And no wonder he's so celebrating.
it's even crazy.
And that is how to beat your
Sexual
opponent.
relations with women. That is crazy.
And a tremendous vision.
But that's crazy in itself. We are
And a clever
now
piece
crazy
of
to
defending.
say that they're able to win. Because we're already down to one crazy. It's way past human knowledge. It's spiritual stuff. Right?
And here's the interesting thing. I know you have very specific views on this. Everybody does, and there's debate, right? Like, what are demons? You have to bring this conversation back to what are demons. And there's going to be some who say the disembodied spirit of a Nephilim. There are going to be others who say fallen angels. You can have that debate all day long. But the point is, when you ask the question for that other 10%, the residual, UFOs, right? The residuals. What are people actually seeing and experiencing? And what is the public narrative going to be on this? What is the public narrative going to be? So talk specifically about what you do. We'll start to go there. What do you do with the actual going? What are these things? What are these beings? From where we are?
Well, I'll say this though, let me start here, because one of the big things that I'll take away from this is number one, the government is being told about this government, about this committee. They're being told that they believe in it, and they're going to release it to the public as if it's truthful. Yeah, so this is the big issue. But what is the lie? The lie is that there's interdimensional beings that are communicating with us ever since the Roswell crash, to other public things that people have brought entities in the mail, so to speak, they're all the way back to the 40s and 50s. A number of these things are forward. Here is the bottom line is the answer is still the same. Jesus Christ is Lord. UFOs and aliens, they don't like the name of Jesus. It's something that we need to stand on and continue to drive our faith into. But at the end of the day, what are they? I do believe personally that the disembodied spirits, Nephilim, here. Some people have different points of view. They say they're fallen angels mutated into demons. They could be right, but I really think it's disembodied spirits of Nephilim. I think they're trying to take ground. Fallen angels are a different category of spiritual power. And I think that's when you get technological understand that interdimensional capacity. I think this is a lot of what we're seeing. The rise of the occult, the rise of people getting power to these things, the subjective programming, the reliance on control. That's why there's so much variety with what we're seeing in the skies. Now, here's a little caveat, is the day after this meeting, I was flying from Tennessee to Colorado Springs, and Billy, I'm not joking one bit, I'm flying, and we're looking out the window, and we were visited by orbs outside of the airport. And I took video of that, and we have it, and I thought, what in the world is this? I've never in my life have I had encountered things like this. Now, right outside the window, seeing orbs, and floating in the trumpet. Now, maybe it was a psychosomatic because it was in my wheelhouse. but we took authority over Jesus'
Well,
name and
nearly
proclaimed
there.
the
This
truth.
game
I thought this.
almost
I thought I'm a
over.
person that's somewhat read
There's
in
the
this. I don't
shot.
pretend to be the expert in
had
the
to stop
but I'm
that
somewhat
one.
read in it. And I had this encounter and I thought, wow, that was unreal.
The
And
corner
then I thought
played
that
into
I
the
was
box.
believer. There's something
But the
when
keeper
appear in the
takes
sky,
command.
will appear in heaven, begin to speak to them and say, I am God, I am this, and begin to share some narrative. I believe what would happen is people's faith will
And
collapse
tremendous
in the areas
individual
because they're
skill.
not lovers of the truth. They're not
Clean
full
challenge.
people armed with the Bible.
Has a
So when these
go.
encounters come,
Was
it'll
it
shape
going to let
people.
that
And
one
this
get
is the
through?
agenda. This is
Well,
the way
that
they're
was
going to try and
brilliant
they, the powers
defending.
that be, the wicked ones around the
Oh,
world,
big
that want to take over the
opportunity.
world, they truly want to, and I don't think they're willing to do this. But I just want to say, I just got to be clear, but I just really do believe there's powers that want to
I don't know, is he good or is there like some sort of glitch?
Well, here's the replay. He does well to find that bit of space in the box, and then he shows a lot of composure to finish it off. That's a good goal.
I can't require everyone to in some videos that go do more.
And so the referee blows for full time, and it goes down
So
as a victory for the visitors.
I thought this. I thought I'm a person that's somewhat read in this. I don't pretend to be the expert in these areas, but I'm somewhat read in this. And I had this encounter and I thought, wow, that was unreal. And then I thought with the average believer, there's something going to appear in the sky, will appear in the heaven, begin to speak to them and say, I am God, I am this, and to begin to share some narrative. I believe what would happen is people's faith would collapse in many areas because they're not lovers of the truth. They're not forewarned to be forearmed with the Bible. So when these encounters come, it will shake people. And this is the agenda. This is the way they're going to try, and the powers that be, the wicked wizard overlord types that want to take over the world, they truly want to, and I don't think they're real lizard people, just so clear, but I just want to say to you, I just got to be clear, but I just really do believe there's powers that want to take over the world to whatever means necessary, and I believe that will be some type of Project Moonbeam or trying to get the mass culture under the control, and this is a perfect way to do it.
Hey guys, we've got a very interesting video today. It is a video request from many of you because the whole world seems to be talking about aliens. Are there aliens or other life forms on other planets in this gigantic universe? And have they actually revealed themselves to us as humans over the centuries? Starting with the most ancient written down information humanity has from ancient Mesopotamia until today. How should we as Christians look at this? And we're going to unpack a lot today. Just to get you ready for this, it's going to be one of the most...
Globally, they have to make the best of every moment. Uma the best number trauma is suppress the in-laws. Mas next number 3 to keep cheering. I'm on the last minute gift. Bio. Download the app or the Globo and get anything you want in minutes.
Insane Alex Jones conspiracy theories that have turned out to be true. Is this? Okay. All right.
Alex Jones has been trying to warn all of us for decades. He's accused powerful people of hiding their evil acts in plain sight.
Yeah.
Now I get the Bohemian Grove information out.
And then he was also right about Bohemian Grove.
He warned us about the elite pedo rings.
He even brought up Jeffrey Epstein.
Epstein's island
Jerry Epstein.
more than a decade ago. Clinton took multiple trips to Epstein's private island where he kept young women as slaves.
They fly
Well,
famous,
welcome to you, and
rich
thanks for joining
scientists
us
and
for another
politicians.
game live on
Underage
EA TV. I'm Guy
girls.
Mowbray,
These
joined by
implications
former
process
England
on the
striker
body.
Sue
Alex
Smith on
Jones
the
had a
commentary
great
gantry,
video
and
called
the
9/11
focus
The
here
Road
is
to
on
Tyranny. It was
division
the first time I
rivals
really
action.
understood
What
the
are
Asian
your
provocateur for
expectations from
government
this?
strategy.
It's
He
great
even
to
warned
be
us
here. I
about
think it's
this.
going to be a
And
really
after he
good
gets
game
that,
today.
we gotta
Both
get
teams will
this
be
down
well
to
up for
zero.
it, so
And he
hopefully
puts
we're in
his
for a
clicker
treat.
and puts an image of a human up there.
Most people dismissed it. A lot of what he said was accepted.
Gay people, I don't like to put chemicals in the water. They turn the friggin'
First
phone
half
gay.
kicks off.
That's the
Time
more
for the talk
comments
to
he
stop
became,
and the
more he's
action to
willing to
start.
their psychological top, sending it spiraling deep in the
Here's how the
comments.
home side
Especially
lines
to even more
up.
of us.
Allison is in goal.
I think that
Ashraf
unleashed
Hakimi
them. I
plays
think
with
the
Bruno
alcohol
Mendes
might have
in the fullback
unlocked this
roles.
division.
And they're playing with
Yeah,
just
but
one up
day
front.
destroyed him. Almost like it was done from the start by the very people he wants. Because over time, these ideas, parts of what he'd been saying started to surface. But by that point, it had already cost him his entire life and reputation. And it is not going to work that you agree. You see, Alex Jones wasn't always nuts. He wasn't an alcoholic alcohol addict, saying whatever he can. In fact, in 1995, Jones
Yeah,
visited
it
a
was
local
nice up
Texas
to a
news
point
release
and then just
and
lacked that bit of quality,
Alex
didn't they?
Jones. Like, I think he grew up, like, he was in Austin. My mom would watch Alex Jones on public access television.
pretty handsome and eccentric, although still grounded and tuned into reality. He likes
The
it early,
attack is
so much
over.
he isn't proud of
Really
being in
good
good shape.
defending.
His driving force back then were his worries about expanding government power.
Yep.
I don't care about moving. I care about getting my package done. I care about getting going.
There's a bit of
The
belief
biggest
in
thing
this
for him
move.
back then was when
And
George
the
Bush
chance
had
slips
grand
away.
out to the press conference and challenging them
I
walking
forgot
about
all about this.
And he was convinced that governments everywhere by nature controlled by a shadowy group of elites. But back then, it was the Council of Foreign Relations he mistrusted most.
And now it's real real. We'll talk about those years first.
History government, all your things, what the leaders told her about.
Coutinho.
Until we realize Republicans and Democrats are the same people at the top. Two sides
Played in with
point
that.
of the day
This for the lead.
We're not
Well, it's not going to count. I got quickly offside.
Back then, Jones had no idea
Immediately looked
students
over
would
his
one
shoulder
day
to
become
check.
the US presidential candidates for the
I shook.
Our visit staff would each way to sanity and his entire life, driving him so deep into alcohol abuse that he just became unrecognizable. And that
I have to tell you guys.
Messi. Now it's
I
Zielinski.
was walking to my podcast,
Lionel Messi.
and this is the one that we filmed in ice. And I met
It's
a
no
guy
great surprise
that
who
was
we've
just
picked out to
totally
have a look
random.
at here. What are we
He was a
expecting to
guy
see from him
that
today, Sue?
Yeah, he's such a creative player. The
Sorry, Sue, chance here.
changed.
Vital tackle, and he's come away with it.
This
I
happened to me.
thought he was in there. Looked like a goal for sure, didn't it?
We had a very interesting conversation. Right?
Nicely played through.
he gave up to the eventually found his
That
psychosis.
has
But to
stopped
understand
any
that Jones, you
potential
have to understand
danger.
that back in the day, he was an early genius at this. Someone who adopted before anyone else, realizing that he could infowars unlimited reach. The reality is,
My mom was on the internet constantly. Like, she'd be like, you should go watch and like all these other guys like.
Well, he's lost the ball, and any chance has gone.
It was solely because of his boots out of traditional news with claims about Waco and the Oklahoma City bombs.
Alessandro Bastoni.
Yeah.
Coutinho. The chance to get something going here. And stopped in their tracks with a change in possession.
His take on a story was always driven as traditional media did not.
Messi.
But being published radio and local news improved to follow the story that believed in the show. And one of those was the Leading Grove was driven against the society made of police from around the world.
The crazy thing about this is that everybody thought this
Alessandro
was real.
Bastoni.
And Alex Jones, like, he just went there and he showed it. And he's like, look. And now everybody just acknowledges, yeah, it happened.
One of the most powerful US public figures he did. Ranks.
And as I had to go to the
Well, this is a superb run.
is now out for forgiveness on my feet in back here. So they don't
Chance for the lead.
Back then, Jones didn't have all this. For a massive fortune at his disposal. He was
The move has come to an end.
And steeped in his panic
That
I'm
wasn't
pretty
far
sure
away, was
this
it?
is the
They do well
this
to
is the
create the
underpass.
chance. They
If I'm
just couldn't
correct
quite
on
finish
this,
it off there.
this is the underpass downtown that's been leading into like
Coutinho.
it's like Fifth Street or something like that, or like the hospital or the sea.
Ferran Torres.
Like there are people
A
living
really
here.
good interception to take the ball.
The seed that his manic grandeur already started to sprout.
I don't really part. They're sick in both their systems. I don't like
Right.
generate inbred, renal. They're not going to run. They're not going to pull them. I'm going to try to
They
expose
need to be
The Jones
better on the
actually
ball
decided
than
to go
that.
out and keep speaking his way and infiltrate one of the ceremonies of Prince Richard. And he
Coutinho.
wasn't alone.
This is the story of one man's attempts to infiltrate
Attack
and
of
secretly fail
genuine promise developing.
Bohemian Grove. Now it seems like an unlikely
Deliver
punch.
into the
Jones
box.
ended up joining forces
It's
with
on
the
now.
British investigative journalist Scott Johnson to speak on the Bohemian Grove for a Channel 4 documentary, The Secret Rules of the World.
There we are, folks. Bearing on through the Bohemian Highway and Bohemian Grove.
Grimes.
We're going to find out what the New World Order
He's in here.
We were there in person 25 years ago.
No way through. Possession
For
lost.
Jones, this was the equivalent of Flat Earth reaching the icy rings surrounding
You
us.
saw
And
it.
to be fair, it was completely insane when they discovered
Yes,
they
sun goes
would have
on.
woke up people practically backing themselves in silence in anticipation of a weird ritual targeting and grinding effigy of ancient owl gods. They were surrounded by some of the most
Coutinho.
influential and powerful people in the world.
I feel like that's a really big deal.
Ferran Torres. There's good width to this attack now.
Big fucking deal, that's crazy.
It's ahead.
Over there.
Oh, great
For Jones,
tackle.
it was
Goal
absolutely
saver.
clear vindication that the New World Order really did it. Now he was convinced that more certainly
That's a
public
good
figures
ball.
around
Opportunity now.
doing
It's
other
in.
things, it's gonna teach
1-0.
them also
And all the pressure made to count. Clearly the better team to this point.
He is the replay, and the delivery's just spot on, isn't it? He puts it into a danger area. And once it falls through like that, it's a routine finish. Cool.
1-0 then as we get started again.
And then Sony with the Giants for good. Not Giants here in particular. People weren't hearing things but Jeffrey Epstein compromising the
People were so positive and everything was so good in the 90s, and then 9/11 happened and everything turned into being bad. That's basically what it was. Everything was okay, everything was fine, and then as soon as 9/11 happened, the world changed for the worse.
Is it a deserved lead?
Well, they have controlled patches of that first half. They've created some good opportunities, but only being up by one, it's so close. And it's tough to call a winner here.
The day after 9/11, he was calling it a conspiracy. It was some sort of...
That's going to be it for the first 45 minutes.
That was September 2001.
Yeah, it is pretty wild.
I couldn't experience. I was there. I have predicted for the last 5 years first. They are going to now use terrorism as pretext to our civil liberties.
The moment shattered everything. The illusion of global peace most Westerners lived in. The basic level of trust most people had in governments and militaries. The security people felt living in the richest, most powerful nations of Earth. Suddenly now, people were questioning everything. For Jones, this was confirmation that everything he'd been warning people about for years was true. But he took it to another level and didn't waste any time doing it.
The government actually carried out this bombing themselves, the New World Order central government, to create the crisis, to offer the solution, or, ladies and gentlemen, they allowed terrorists from somewhere in the world
They got kicked off of everything for this.
to engage in this kind of traffic.
Despite so ramshackle and set up with limited following, Jones started to make a splash with relentless-friendly claims that it was an inside job. He warned us this was the latest in a string of false-flag operations by the US government, justify the expansion of government and the rollout of mass surveillance.
Governments have staged terror attacks.
Isn't it crazy that, man,
So away we go then for the second half.
Unlike today, the inside job elements of the warning didn't go down with the country reeling.
I actually think this was the end of Piers Morgan's.
That's how to play it through.
I think Alex Jones,
The effort shut out.
like, he just totally fucking...
And the attack collapses.
But it did bring in the USA's dark history of false-flag operations in the open, which was helped by Jones' repeated runs by Operation Warp. The rejected 1960 US plan to go run and facilitate civilian attacks on civilian targets, all justify war against the communist Castro regime. As a result, InfoWars started gaining some serious ground. Even still, in his tiny little studio, as soon as people realized the horrors of the Patriots, among the horrors of Iraq War, his rising popularity and fame allowed for a much more slick operation.
I'm Alex Jones at Real Alex Jones. Stay with us. This is a war.
More extreme his claims became,
You support keeping children from battery
Further into life here.
Scott, and on that
I
one,
also like this too, where like he kept showing people things that were in plain sight, and he kept getting deplatformed and demonized for it. And then
Rodrigo.
people like, because there were things like, I mean, imagine exposing a secret society that presidents
Neves.
and other heads of states are in, and people were just like,
Worked to regain possession.
I mean, that's crazy.
Lionel Messi hasn't
was
really
good.
put his usual
Children
stamp
walking
on
around
the
with their
game
By the way,
until
the
now.
response that people
Struggling to
have
have his
to
usual impact.
that and a couple of
Well,
things
that's not been a good first half for him.
That's the
All
that
the
that
team
that is the foundation
sloppy
that I
in
base the
possession
expectation
and
like
just
gives
doesn't look on his game today.
It's because this
Certainly
isn't the
need to
first
see
time
an
it's
improvement in the second half.
It's happened multiple times before this.
Beautifully weighted ball. Oh, that's really well thrown out.
So by the early 2010s, he now had a large, still pretty niche audience tuning in daily for his hours long high block grants and packing. In fluoride in the water, relief banking cartels preparing for the 2010s also saw two huge events that would matter the US fund. While this made Jones an enormous figure, shutting his sanction in the fund, convincing him that he was now on a God-given mission to deliver the world from the evil of the New World Order. With
Possession changes hands. Vitinha. The attack broken up. Oh, could be here. Dennis Bouanga. But that's offside, the timing a little bit out.
He doesn't give him time to get back on side before playing the ball through.
which being one of the most stressful things to take on, life is dreaming.
Despite the incredible mission I've got, and the whole world is counting on me more and more to be the only monster of a movement against tyranny. It's just to have hundreds of people coming up with light in their eyes, just telling me how great I am. Let me tell you something. As good as I am, ladies and gentlemen, I like to chew tobacco. I like to drink whiskey. And I'll be honest with you, I have constant struggles. And to get a bottle of Jack Daniels, I don't even have the self-control.
The moments came when one of Jones's most prominent strengths was in vindicating.
the stage of the watching Iraq war and several domestic police here in the United States.
In 2013, CIA was
Nuno Mendes.
Snowden fled to Russia, working with a group of international journalists. Snowden released a load of classified CIA files and shockwaves.
That's not a bad-looking ball.
The USA and Section 215 engagement. Collecting phone records and data of hundreds of
It did look promising, but threat averted.
I've been impressed with how they've closed down and stopped attacks quickly.
That's a people surprised when they tell you they can't figure out these things because they're going around trying to threaten the president. Keep this in mind. Whenever they say like,
And they scored again. That puts them further in front. What a position to be in.
Well, here's the replay, and he's aimed for the corner. It's a decent strike. Gets his look in off the post, and he's off celebrating.
The lead is now 2 as the game restarts.
Each stage must end people so different.
Right.
You count this region with a voting decision. Similar to the food and rest points. So the James can bring about the stuff
It's looking good.
Only the voice of the growing group will become increasingly
It's deflected out. Corner.
Each state out there the 500 which they own to the general.
Short corner taken.
And his own paranoia, his own founded, he finds himself the center of a brutal pandemic.
And they're 3 in front now. What a performance this has been so
Basically
far.
said, yeah, they're not the deep state kind of people over the performance thing when it is
So
doing
it's
theirs.
3-0 as the game restarts.
Because I was doing it.
Really questions about the threat.
Lionel Messi.
That was it. That was you directly across the world.
Radio host Alex Jones, who claimed that 9/11 the Oklahoma City bombing
And it's now. He's put that one away very nicely indeed.
So your reputation
So
is
it's
amazing.
3-1 as
I
the
will
ball
not let
gets
you
rolling
down.
again.
You will be very, very impressed, I hope. And I think we'll be speaking a lot.
His trained swamp mantra and endless attacks on the status quo found a powerful supporter in Jones, whose interview with Trump in 2016 is said to have helped Trump get over the line and into the White House.
If I'm elected president, I think that it definitely locked in the schizos.
Can't hang around.
The moment that Trump, and also, I don't like that this video glossed over the Piers Morgan interview. I do think because Piers Morgan was like, okay, I mean, he's a sharp guy, he is, and nobody mocked Piers Morgan on his own show the same way that Alex Jones did. They brought on for Jesse Ventura, and Jesse Ventura mocked Piers as well. But the difference is that Jesse Ventura wasn't militant about it. He was much more relaxed. Everything was fine.
Dennis
But the
Boanga.
moment that you brought Alex Jones on and he just shouted, and I'm talking about again back in the day,
entered the final 5.
Alex Jones going on Piers Morgan and just totally fucking just bulldoze-ring him. I really think that was a massive for
Could be dangerous. Hard
We
work
are
pays
going
off.
back
They
to
win the
the
ball.
There's a
The
clown back
defence
here.
quick to snatch it back.
So, Jones one friend ideas
goes.
how being
Corner
handled by
coming.
President Malcolm the world. The head of the government who spent years attacking the South
Take it short.
This was Jones' peak, but after a peak, there was always a full Paul Jones and a long way to fall.
Rodrigo.
With his drinking and alcohol use getting out of control, his marriage was collapsing.
I can't stand to be in a party
Now
where alcohol's
Hakimi.
being drunk and not drinking. I am weak. My flesh is weak.
Tackles
His wife
well,
divorced,
but it's out
and
for a
after that
throw.
time, his very public custody battle for their children engulfs his private life. With his wife in TV interviews attacking his character,
Yep.
people in Texas start filming him and harassing him in public.
That's definitely he's a brave person.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, and also the other one.
That is the final blast. Not the result that the visiting fans were hoping for. What did you make of it
San
all?
Diego happened before Trump. It was 2000 and I don't know, 13 or something like that. I don't remember about when the timeline was. But it was really, I mean, that was the big one. Because that's actually what Cook's good. Alex Jones was not cooked except for that. That was the only thing that really fucked him.
9-day trial, a jury awarded Kelly Jones joint custody of their kids, making her home the primary residence instead of their father.
He appears on Infowars get worse and worse, often with red eyes and a swollen face.
Because that was a secret. I had a divorce 3 years ago. I tried to keep my kids out of it.
You can see his brash character start to fall apart at the steamers. There were days he almost burst into tears when hammered.
But they were good people. They got good.
He also starts becoming way more direct about the elite circles he believed were running the world. He also speaks more openly about powerful pedo networks, and he was one of the first people to bring public attention towards Jeffrey Epstein's first arrest, when most people still had no idea who Epstein even was.
Right. When you've got the same FBI a couple years ago with Jeffrey Epstein with Lolita Express, with Bill Clinton on at least 16 round-trip flights to Powell Island, he got convicted of running.
And years later, the truth about the scale of his crimes filled the headlines every day.
Only more than 10 years later, some of the
Well,
most
just the sort of
sensitive
weather the
business
fans were
and
hoping
profit
for this
centers
evening.
been
It's
driving
absolutely
depositions of
ideal.
friendship
I'm your
with
match commentator Derek Ray at the microphone, and sitting alongside me is the former Arsenal, West Ham and Coventry midfield player Stuart Robson. And what we have coming up for you is live action from division rivals. What do you anticipate seeing, Stuart?
Well, it doesn't matter how good your players are or what formation they're playing in, you have to earn the right to play. And I'm sure that would have been reiterated by both managers in the dressing room. It promises to be a really good game here.
Jeffrey Epstein. You have Reckon Orgy at his Caribbean compound that the former president visited.
This is how it looks for the home side.
It's a 4-5-1, so they will be very compact out of possession. But they'll need to break forward quickly when they win the ball back, and key to that will be the wide players. This should be a really interesting game.
And this is the initial 11 for the visitors today. Alisson begins in goal. Achraf Hakimi plays with Nuno Mendes in the fullback positions. And the striker today is Ferran Torres. The referee has given them a corner.
If you are an above
And a short
intelligence person,
option preferred.
if you look at history,
They'll be
you
breathing
will
a
see
sigh of relief. Ball one.
above average people that are completely fucking insane on every coach. That's it. That's literally it.
Begraoui.
man. Obsession? Yeah.
Oh, it looked really promising for them.
Sterilized 2 weeks ago, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, secret meeting of the rich, Warren Buffett, Ted Turner, and it said the main agenda was reduce our population by 80%. The world today has
Plenty of
20 billion
options.
people.
Well, that one has
That's up to about
promise.
9 billion.
Now they have possession in a good area of the pitch.
Flu vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services. People know about like half or 15%.
It seems to be in four places
And
like
threading it through.
There's really Africa that still has a double population.
Well, credit to him for trying it. Didn't miss by much. Well, who will be the player to decide the outcome, to determine the course of events? No reason at all why it won't be this man, Stuart. What do you anticipate seeing from him?
Last time out, he scored 4 goals, and what a brilliant performance it was from him. His movement was good, he was clinical in front of goal, and he was a constant threat. He's in tremendous form.
Well, it came to nothing in the end.
Legendary. No. Let's not reframe this, okay? Joe Rogan and Alex Jones have been friends for like 30 years. So let's not pretend like Joe Rogan was like, oh wow, Alex Jones is so crazy. No, Joe was gassing him up. Joe was saying, oh, and then what, Alex? So what about that Indian shit? So what they have to, so who's this Bob Laser? Who is this guy? Yeah, let's not rewrite history. They were in this together.
Can they set up a chance?
We need a new one.
Morten Hjulman.
No, I won't be here. I'll sit here and like help workers.
This episode, my Rogan is going to say this is
I go, okay, there's a certain number of podcasts I have to do.
Can
I
he
get
find the
to
right
9/11.
pass?
So Jamie and I worked it out.
Beautiful
And we
pass.
did it.
biggest species itself, biggest species conspiracy theory, didn't actually have arguably the world's biggest species. It does have outcome, and he did it before this was
Dennis Begraoui.
He was high on the same time to say absolutely anything, knowing people would still believe, and he faced no
Oh, this looks useful.
One of Joe Rogan's most popular episodes of all time. And has since been released.
Nothing for them to worry about in the end. Good defending.
Well, they defend those areas really well.
Every other interview that with the leader, that one got deleted. Why would he do it?
Good ball over the top.
And it's seemingly more crazy
Can
than
he
he's
create
ever
an angle?
Over the course of 85 hours, he writes about this concept.
Native Americans, you can mind control.
Read it well.
20 years ago, they had spiders at British bodyguard. Spiders.
And flag raised. Offside.
Well, that was always going to be offside. He just needed to hold on to the ball that little bit longer.
The Epstein files reveals human-animal hybrids. Then Tim Burchett,
And
the
defensive
senator
play to
from
be
Tennessee,
applauded.
says that they have human-animal hybrids.
Torres. Promising pass. Neves. Genuine chance.
Well, that was a gilt-edged opportunity for the equaliser.
Well, I'm not sure how he's missed the target from there. That's a poor effort.
He has time to play it over. It is to be a throw-in.
Well, the stats show us that the hosts haven't had that much of the ball, but they've certainly shown it.
Stewart, opportunity here. And keeps it out, showing lightning-fast reactions.
Yeah, what a remarkable save. He was so alert there.
Yeah, Alex, this is the one for the valuation, with 6% of the target, 8% of the wall split, and this
trailing here, but a corner it is.
There's no reason it shouldn't be there.
Elects to go short.
Put the odds to that.
That's a super piece of defending.
You got giant
just
human
stopped
tissue
it in its
farms.
tracks there.
Aliens are real. They're creating human animal hybrid.
Yanis Begraoui. A touch too heavy there.
That is the German breakaway.
It was from this point onwards that Jones never returned to his previous more stable status. Alcohol,
now with Vitinha. Jones was arrested in Texas on a misdemeanor charge of 20 bottles.
Well read to ease the pressure.
That wasn't his stock in trading.
The problem is that they did. That's the problem. They did make sense. That's the situation.
He didn't need to be right. He needed a good club. His off-air actions were flawless. He very clearly started right and was very aggressive.
It's a genuine opportunity, but it was squandered. Goal kick.
Making his now infamous claims about Sandy Cook never had a children in the jet, being parents. He'd actually been saying stuff for years. Years prior to the World Cup and his points, but now those words are Carlton follow his plan in parents, and all the evidence proves him wrong. As he drags
outrageously good defending.
This is the first time that
was close. He needed that intervention.
Although he questions the legitimacy of the attack and the fact using things covering
it's a neat move. Well read that magnificently.
His followers found the carrots and the depth of using the big move, and so 2018 those assaults. He can have it for
useful ball.
He was taken off the game.
As soon as basically every single
and that was goalkeeping right out of the top drawer.
It's absolutely remarkable. His reflexes were brilliant there.
And he was taken off of every social media platform. Was he right on this one? I think he was wrong.
The first half here comes to an end.
YouTube, Facebook, and stuff. Wiping out the huge number of audience. But those that know him now, doing one of the most silent individuals on fire. His daily audience himself, 1.4 million days, 715,000. Now, only the last way I think
if you get taken off of every major social media platform and you only lose half your audience, that's nuts.
That suddenly already seen on the February episode of Watch on EPS. Anything with Jones' name was considered basic. Bootleg re-uploads are quickly taken down, and still the tech companies are serious about size. He's seen as too toxic
and away they go again into the second half.
I don't think it had anything to do with the problem. I think Alex Jones was a ideological enemy, and they systematically worked to come up with an excuse to delegitimize him.
Begraoui.
I think that it had nothing to do with any sort of the company looking out for itself or anything else. I think straight up, they just wanted to get rid of him. That was it.
They lead by 2 now. They can play that a bit more easily. Vitor Pereira. Desai has it.
Jones himself, that's the inside post, is a brutal play. The judge signed for the victim, and Boris Jones has been eye-watching $1.5 billion in damage.
And return to Fornals.
See, this is what I said.
Easy save to make.
Yeah, there's not much you can say about that.
It was up to me.
Just a breathtaking stop, isn't it?
Shaping to shoot. And a last reaction to tip it over.
It's because $1.5 billion.
Option preferred.
This was so obvious politically and so promoted. Like they were doing this to now in order to damage him. Like I don't think it was just proportionally defined based off anything. I think that like obviously it should. $1.5 billion. This was obviously done. It's not about the money. It's about sending a message.
Plenty of support here.
That's it.
And a decent delivery. Wasn't quite as good as it looked when it was played over.
What stuff does this guy really believe? You are genuine. What does he say? Which is part of that? That's
now what can they do from here?
And that, again, also, like, I think he should have
good defending to stop a
do that
decent-looking
after
attack.
all these different big companies.
The referee has a decision to make.
The odds are that they all ban him on the same day, man. They clearly coordinated this. So, what do you think that, like, what do you think's going on here? This is the reason why I am always a big advocate of pulling every lever of power that you can possibly have. Always do it, because if you don't do it, your opponent's going to. And if they do it, they're not going to let you do it. That's it. Twitter file showed this coordination. Yeah, because they did it pressing up deck. I wish that there were more people invited, but too many people were blinded by mistakes to find by them. And unfortunately, it's possible to lose, which is by design. Well, the answer is a really smart guy. He's got the seat. Maybe this is possible to win the game. Sure. He even said back in the day, he was Hakimi just at the end of the team.
We're into the final half hour.
I mean, for me to try to make it entertaining at the same time.
Alessandro Bastoni.
I let myself get pretty.
But from that point onward, everybody does this, by the way. Everybody does this. It's nothing unique without do it. Plus, the more he lets to extreme behavior, the more these people work.
Michael Owen.
When this act becomes actual personality and strays, well, very few people.
Yeah, he's done really well there. What a brilliant recovery that was.
Conspiracy theorist, it's just who he is.
Cutting it out.
No.
Chance maybe to use the counter-attacking ability to good effect.
Very messy.
Can they use their pace?
Only really some other people genuinely and what they have to say about him. Those are the blank from someone who's pretty good and also deep in trouble. He's been diagnosed with
Time just challenged magnificently. Oh, that's a super piece of
very
defending.
people who actually tried to harm Jones, and after that his origin story from the unnamed Victoria Jenkins, once revealed as
Certainly not alone.
conspiracy.
Alexander Powers with hostility and the police corruption and the police council has
For now.
What do you think the probability of that? I think it's pretty good. Pops up there. I do it. It's good. I was not too worried.
Showing a great defensive instinct.
Like this happened. Yeah, it happened. Like I didn't.
Well, there's a really stylish piece of running.
They took me
This is an excellent run.
We're going to kill you. Have black people with foot on it. The mask on. They said you didn't want this down.
For now.
Because he was a fool. And it was great.
And into the last 15 minutes of action.
And that's right. The outcome of that dunk on his head when he was in high school. Speaking about getting bullied in high school, this guy picked him up and he's piled up, slammed him concrete on his head when he was 15, 16 years old, and he was ever since then. And this guy said, you know, it's
to dispossess your opponent.
Not an evidence conspiracy that's being done. Bergen says that Jones wasn't lying about Senator.
Yeah,
it's just that he's not even capable of making strikes. He wasn't lying.
Doesn't have
Just
to do
was
it
wrong.
on his own.
Really that the government thinks it's trying to confiscate the area. He's just there's a haze of wealth and that's like a great and like legitimate traumatic reason.
The match has restarted, but a real sense of inevitability about it now.
I think that this is. I think that overall, like we're not even talking about the fact that
Right in strongly, decisively.
like the Epstein stuff and then bringing that up as well. Gary Epstein, Joe Rogan. I think that Alex Jones was right about at least 25% of the stuff. And the thing is that the 25% that he was right on was the most important 25%.
Michael Owen.
The thing is, like, I understand.
Not keeping possession.
Like, he made mistakes, he did shit that was wrong. That's true. But when I see all of these social media platforms that are collectively trying to deplatform him and do this all entirely, and there is a massive, like never even heard before, $1.5 billion defamation lawsuit against him, dude, like, I mean, at what point can you not say this very coordinated foul play?
Opportunity here.
I mean,
opting for power over placement,
like,
but not the desired
crazy.
result.
The reality of it, I'm not saying he was suspect compared to the other, and Epstein something up, right? Yeah. And again, like, I think that was wrong, like, for sure.
Gifting away possession.
And he said other things that I think were dumb, too.
Can they set
But
up
that
a
doesn't mean
chance?
that everything is dumb. And also, by the way, Tim Tebow is really wrong. Look at this financial podcast. This guy's really wrong. That you were going to
I think they will definitely have to escape it, and that's the word. I find that he's losing the car. So I don't know how to have this question next up. It's so hard to run. Then try to find the back in the outcome.
Minutes of stoppage time. Might be a chance here. There it is. They've done it.
Which is an ultimate insane of doing
And that is the end of the contest, and not a happy outcome as far as the visitors are concerned.
You're absolutely right. While the result was poor, the display was even worse. They never got to grips with the opposition. They were second best every facet of the game. They need to do a lot of improving before the next time out.
So what you just come next to all the things from Ross? Because it is definitely agree with it. It's pretty simple. And they never said it to me. They got so bad that companies responded to do so. One of them finds out Alex Jones far, and now Alex Jones leads the match into the Federal conspiracy. Saying this was all deployed by the Libyan CIA on the final.
That's why he's mad at the shows that are innuendo and conspiracy theories. I've never been a conspiracy theorist, folks. That's what the media calls me. That's a CIA term.
In the end, it's not really clear whether he believes what he's saying, but just needs people to listen to him.
The show is about information, not continual entertainment.
I think that this was not fair to Alex. I think that, I mean, again, there were a number of things that Alex Jones did and was completely, absolutely, totally fucking vindicated on. And I think that overwhelmingly, like Alex Jones, well, yeah, I mean, again, I don't agree with Alex Jones about everything, right? But to say that it's all about alcohol and everything else, I mean, you have to also keep in mind that, like, if any of this stuff is true, it means he's also being attacked and hounded down by, like, all of these super powerful institutions all the time. And, yeah, I bet that's probably going to stress somebody out. It is. It's definitely going to stress somebody out. There's another POE video now. I'll have to look at it. And very reductive. Yeah, he's conspiracy realist. Yeah, Alex Jones has gotten a lot of things right. He has gotten an overwhelming amount of things right. I like Moon. I think this is the beginning of it was very accurate, especially in terms of like his humble beginnings and all that. But I think really like what happened with Alex Jones, I think that one thing that negatively affected him really is the fact that he tied his vote to Donald Trump so much. So it basically meant that he had to underwrite things that Trump would do. And I think that whenever you do that with any individual person, rather than whenever you're working inside an ideology, it makes you look compromised. And at this point, a lot of conspiracy people have even moved beyond Alex Jones. And this is like, you know, Candace Owens and people that are even more conspiracy brained than that. And this is...
Does a breeding ground for negative chat.
Be one of the most interesting videos for many of you who are interested in spiritual warfare.
Hello and welcome to a stadium that always produces a lively atmosphere. We're at the Estadio do Benfica in Lisbon. I'm Derek Ray here in the commentary box, and joining me to provide expert analysis is the former England attacker Sue Smith. And we have a FUT Rivals match coming up for you. Sue, what are your expectations for today?
Well, it's so loud in here, isn't it? The fans are really up for this one, and I'm sure the managers will be reminding them, remember what you need to focus on and block out all of that noise.
But also maybe to explain away the rapture. Aliens today.
And we're off. The first half begins with plenty of anticipation in the air. The initial 11 today for the hosts. Alisson begins in goal. Achraf Hakimi plays with Nuno Mendes in the fullback positions. And the striker today is Ferran Torres.
Especially because they do not understand.
Can he score? Oh, denied by the post. A truly magnificent start. An early goal in the game. Just what they were hoping to produce. Nuno Mendes.
First, I want to get you up to speed about what the government is saying. Like the events.
Well, using the space really well. But now can they push on?
Updates and also what is being said right now. Take this. And anything having to do with UFO
effective pressure. And the challenge holds them in their tracks.
Here to UFO files, never posting images just to be public. They carried out releasing the first wave, dozens of videos going back decades.
Vitor Ferreira.
said that the government was about to do something that would recently divide the line and pass us into
cutting it out and finding the flow.
It's certainly been an extraterrestrial life forms that would destroy the foundations of Christianity.
Some of the people who in the meeting were telling us as pastors, you need to prepare your people and you need to get ready
The
to
timing was
answer
perfect.
them
Ball
for
one.
what you're about to hear being released.
Chances on. And the keeper really reacted brilliantly.
Well, I thought that had to be a goal, but the keeper pulls off a tremendous save. It's cat-like reflexes.
Searching for the angle. Oh, it's narrowly wide. So unlucky.
The claim that I want to clear first-hand and goes for them. But this game is shockingly difficult to become.
Vitor Ferreira. Decent looking pass.
Without the people that went through, that's what they told
Going to
them.
help pick out a teammate. Opportunity to level it. Looked like a certain goal, but that's a great challenge.
Yeah, he timed his tackle well, didn't he?
All the pastors listening to me. I'm getting to it right now. This happened to me. He said, all the pastors in the room listening. And I said, yes, sir, we are here. He said, listen to me. Go to tail the
Oh, it might be.
They are not ready.
Super stop.
You guys have done that stuff a while. So you're kind of alien sort of theories for a while now. And so what he has done here is he's claimed that the government was there, officials were there, they're high-level security clearance, they were briefing us, congressmen called. It turns out this fact
Well, it could be on for him here. And it's in! All square again! What a match this is turning out to be! They're back underway. One goal apiece here. Claudia Pina.
There's even unique evidence of studies from space where there is a phenomenon.
On to Vitinha. Ferran Torres. Really good challenge. Oh, very effective play in possession.
One of 11 the ties of American States, nuclear secrets, couldn't to die for this year.
If you sit here in public, at least some humility if your head gets chopped off.
Passing it well. Oh, this is looking promising. Opportunity here. Oh, and it goes! And how about this for gumption, for determination? They've turned it around. And a foul there. It has to be a throw-in. Smart defending. Might be onto something with that ball.
Oh, picked out the perfect run there. He's such a clever player, isn't he?
Is it going to be? Oh, top goalkeeping!
And I think that one of the demonstrated tricks is listening to members. Is Jay right? I think it's
I take it short.
There are different types of life. They've not from this world.
What a genuine opportunity, but it was squandered. Goal kick.
Well, you know exactly what the fans think about that decision. They wanted a penalty
because
there.
Because it took two people from the earth. They didn't got it. But also on top of that, they do come from a spiritual
nice ball over the top.
It's looking
looking promising.
Since the beginning of mankind, how many are there? Remember, the Bible says the angels are innumerable. And how many rebelled?
Giving the ball away.
Here, watching those what came up. But there's a reason why the book of Enoch describes a certain
good weight on that pass.
The watch. They're here. Even the devil himself.
What a corner kick it is. Let's see if they can put this to good use as they try to add to their advantage. Well, he's gone short with it.
Not just him,
and making the run to the inside.
It is interesting that the Bible itself does talk also about watchers. It doesn't have this thing of Daniel, but we just see it a little bit.
Great ball
it's
over the
fascinating
top.
to me that even the unbelievers, even aliens, they believe that he's watching.
Oh, brilliant save!
Yeah, he was right on the money with his position in there. That's top quality goalkeeping.
Might lead to a chance.
The whole thing watching and only
Takes aim.
And verse 17 says, the sentence is by the decree of the watchers, the decision by the word of the Holy One.
Perfect
And
tackle.
again, that a living may know the most powerful. So this word watcher comes from the Aramaic
Aubameyang
word
with
here.
options.
And actually what is very fascinating to me
And the
is that
confidence to
in that
take him on.
explains
Chance to
how
equalise. And a goal! To
Reach.
square again! Head to the sea stuff.
It is one of the best books in the Bible that explains to us how the spiritual world.
Moving the ball forward with genuine purpose here.
A high-ranking fallen angel over the Virgin Queen.
Will this corner bear fruit for them?
Well, the crowd are up for this. They haven't had too much to cheer about for a while.
Getting so excited
this
about
is a big chance.
This is focused for a little bit. We might get back to this. But I want
Can he give them the advantage?
You need to understand that they don't call only.
Oh, big moments. Splendid defending.
It means unidentified anomalous anomaly. Just a quick note here. I don't know if this bothers you as much as it bothers me, but I really like
that attack collapsed completely.
Yeah, it was nice up to a point, and then just lacked that bit of quality, didn't they?
Just taking another label on something.
It's not a huge chunk of added time. 1 minute.
Now, you need to know Congress out hearings. The Pentagon created a special office to investigate, and many sightings are still unexplained. Now, part of the government, what else?
Who can he pick out? And the chance slips away. And so it is, the first half story has been written.
Has never said that we are alone. As I said before, and ancient archaeology stretching back to ancient Mesopotamia do show mysterious beings with humanity. So what I'm going to explain to you today is going to surprise, shock your socks off.
So back underway here into the second half.
The Bible truth itself. Let's go to Ephesians 6, verse 12. It says, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood," meaning humans. So now
high quality defending.
And it says, "but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over this."
I think it's fair to say both sides have room for improvement on the possession front.
Yeah, they need to sharpen up a bit.
Places. So here, you can see that there is a war going on, but it's not just
now with Hakimi,
but about different kind of forces
Marcel
in the
Desailly,
places, spiritual beings. And we realize here that there are different types of forces of these spiritual beings. Just like an army with different weapons, or in the way of how there are different animals that all animals.
Emphasis on the clearance, a good one.
Spiritual forces described in the Bible. And the Christian church over the centuries have been so wrong about
moving it
how they
nicely.
represent. I'm talking about certain churches here, especially certain artwork.
This for the lead, and a goal! Greece has their advantage. Just look at the celebrations.
Angels, and they really they can't take human form. I will get to a little bit later.
Throw-in has been awarded.
They're real forms. It's amazing. Listen to how the Bible describes one of these.
Nicely regaining possession.
A being that plays
and using the flank.
Eyes like flaming torches. A body like shining on legs.
Joao Neves. The pass he had in mind. Now breaking at pace. Potential danger. What a brilliant pass. Nice looking move. And he's only gone and made the hat-trick. Absolutely.
They focus on what the Bible actually says about what angels are. Do you actually know what they are? What does the word angel mean? The word angel is a Greek word meaning angelus, and it just means messenger. That's what they do. It's not what they are. In the Old Testament, the language is Hebrew, so it's not angelus, angel. It is malak. That is the word that's used for angel.
Today, what a performance! So back underway, and we really are being treated to a festival of goals in this one.
In the Old Testament, you see that there are many angels. Sometimes you can say 8 angels appear to see in the back.
This looks interesting. Well, he made sure there was absolutely no way through.
Angel is for God. This doesn't be his God. He says, these angels are for because Jesus Christ is the only mediator.
And the penalty is given. The referee right on the spot. And now a chance for them to take the lead here.
As we know today, describe their function of what they are in essence is. There are no ghosts. People tell me those stories actually not good.
Best to see them take the lead once again.
Oh,
he's guessed correctly and saved it.
It's not a ghost. It is the spirit. I'll explain to you how this amazing angel that Gabriel was like.
And taken short. And it's won by Emerick Laporte.
When we go to Ezekiel 1, verse
putting her under real pressure.
Amazing spiritual creatures of 4 faces. A man, and that type of light, and then another with the features of an ox, and then also an eagle.
There to take it away.
And then we also see these strange wheels within wheels.
Beautiful pass.
Now, if it's not fascinating to you, I don't know what else. Wheels with eyes, it's supposed to be the planet. If you can see this in the sky,
disappointing end to that.
That not look like a movie ship to you. I'm not saying that this is what people are seeing. I'm just saying this is very strange and interesting. That is what the Bible says. Then Isaiah
Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang's well-timed pass here.
The word seraphim comes
Rodrigo.
from the word
Montenevs.
Burning one. Also in some
And
places
finding
like
the
Numbers
flow.
21 verse 6, seraph. Fiery serpent.
Owen. Oh, that's a penalty.
We did this linguistic connection here of the fiery kind of serpent angelic being that looks maybe like a serpent / dragon. We also know that the devil
This to put them in front once more.
ancient
And he puts it away confidently.
He could have been the fact that he was these kind of features.
How
But then,
about this? 4-3.
so maybe the kind of mystery, we're not sure.
Read it well.
It's deep. That is deep. So imagine someone who doesn't believe in God, they don't want to. They don't want to believe in God. They saw somebody who what did he say? Where are they?
Desai has it.
Oh, they're done.
Just
That's
20
a term
minutes
that some say
remaining
to
now.
believe in other religions.
Putting all their energies into winning back possession. Well, plenty of scope
Especially
for them to attack.
But isn't it interesting that they have God like
Could cross it in here.
Illegal place that goes to the
This looks more than decent. Frantic action from one end to the other. They weren't ahead for long.
And then there are
And this match is level again.
Even the nation of Israel worship the bull.
Hakimi. Now with
This
Neves.
switches back to ancient Mesopotamian.
Well, that's how to put in a clean tackle.
As well, that they thought. I explained this.
It's a good-looking ball.
This one now, but it's very. But the people today see
Opportunity. Can they forge ahead on this corner kick? Let's see. It's a short one. Can they set up a chance?
Your perception of the truth doesn't change through itself.
Must be. A pair of steady hands
Ancient
in
Mesopotamian
evidence.
find carvings like things.
Well, the fans have been frustrated at times today, but they know the team need them. So those noise levels have just gone up for one final push.
The devil will try to confuse people as much as you can. Give them as many gods, different theories, even
The prospect of settling the game. To put them ahead. Oh, it's an outrageous save. And still level pegging.
Well, he shows great reaction to get to that. It's a top save so late on in the match.
Regeneration.
And stopping the danger.
Sometimes you've just got to clear your lines, haven't you?
And support available. The danger not over. And given free rein to run. Chance was building. Vitor Pereira. Owen with it. And they'll get ready for the throw in.
Eve, they had, of course, Cain and Abel. Cain killed Abel, and he was sent to the land of Nod, east, and then through the third son was the line all the way to Jesus, right?
Well, not quite what he wanted to do with the pass.
They had only with Abel, Cain. One
on the attack as there's to be late excitement. Well, disappointing end to the move. Might be a chance to break.
Set from his line all the way from the right.
Decisive pass. Oh, it looked really promising for them.
This interesting technology with this clothing. Tebow Cain, for example, he was a part of those children. He was the one who improve their lives if they also they represent it. Lamech and his descendants are so evil.
Owen with it.
As well, and he boasted about killing man. And his kids,
the chance.
The one was part of the great tent, the other one he was. And they didn't that the people
You see how the people
make it make sense.
Well, how close was that? The keeper does so well. He's got to react quickly, and he does. That's a top save.
There's a lot to say on that. This was one.
And the referee says that is all for today. No two ways about it. He really.
Some of them had a human head and a body of a bull or a lion. And again, wings. Again, remember the church. Some of them down and then we also read from the ancient Sumerians about the Anunnaki, described as those who came from heaven, the children of the God Most High, called An in ancient Mesopotamia from the ancient Sumerians. We see that ancient civilizations believed in these heavenly beings that interacted with humankind.
over time, we can see, of course, some of these stories changed a little bit, and they would change with different tribes and as time goes on. That's normal. But there's a language also of calling these supposed beings the sons of the God Most High, was something that's very, very ancient. It's even the same in the Bible. When we go to Job 1 verse 6, it says, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord. We also read that the devil came among them, showing that there can be evil ones appearing before God. Remember, God has authority over everything, even the fallen angels. Remember, what did he do with King Saul? He sent him an unclean spirit. In the same book of Job, we read that they are not humans, these sons of God. When we go to chapter 38, verse 7, it says, when the morning stars sang together and all the sons of God shouted for joy. So here's what's talking about creation, and it's clearly not talking about human beings, because human beings did not exist.
Hello, and thanks for joining us live here on EA TV. I'm Guy Mowbray, and alongside me for commentary is Sue Smith, and we've got a division rivals game on the way for you. What can we expect from the game then?
Well, it's so loud in here, isn't it? The fans are really up for this one, and I'm sure the managers will be reminding them, remember what you need to focus on and block out all of that noise.
Yes, it is referred to Christian, but we know this in the New Testament only. Not in the Old Testament.
And the first half is underway.
In the New Testament, you see the adoption to become son of God, accept him as our Lord and Savior.
This is how the visitors start the game. Alisson is in goal. Ashraf Hakimi plays with Nuno Mendes in the fullback role. And they go with a single striker leading the line.
It also makes it very clear. Genesis 6, verse 54 also explains before the great flood that the sons of God came into the order of man. They bore children to them.
Debinho making decent progress here.
These are the descendants of Noah who directed these cities.
Perfectly anticipated, really well won. It's a lovely ball. There might be something building now. Well, no surprise who we're focusing on here. It's a special game for him today, bringing up 300 appearances for the club.
Oh, this is a great opportunity.
And he's beaten the keeper with a lovely little ding. A finish of real confidence. 1-0 as the game restarts. Positive play on the front foot. Promising looking ball. Closed it down well.
See some of them in the time of Moses, where you read of King Og, one of the last two Rephaim giants that still controlled on sticks and snakes.
Rivaldo.
So what we see here in archaeology, you see non-human beings, spiritual
could turn out to be a really good ball.
Interacting with humankind, giving them knowledge as we read in those ancient connecting tablets, but also
good work, they've got it back.
Interacting with them to create them. They have special knowledge.
Able to skip past there.
Satan is able to see mankind.
Promising attack, halting.
Oh, he was so alert there. Read the situation well.
Like God.
Now, this has to be.
Egyptians all that serpents and prison fire. Also knowledge, like sorcery, and we see the Egyptians fighting against Moses, like mating.
Michael Olise.
From water to blood, not to frogs. They just do these things. So you need to ask yourself, what will the
well read.
do again, as he will see a
lot of genuine promise now.
And those 10 kings, those 10 leaders.
What a good ball, they could be in.
Side is going to give you the power.
There's one here.
Like so. You think they might be why they want to do aliens? Because aliens are true in the Bible.
Promising forward burst.
Because then it is God. And now we have to do planet. So now we get back to giants. Number 13, verse 15.
And the attack is over. Really good defending.
Deuteronomy 2, verse 10 says,
Debinho
speaks of a Rephaim giants. And now it gives you the more interesting because almost every ancient culture of our faith has to spread out language.
All lost and gratefully received. Beautifully weighted ball.
Different names. This is how it is. Let's go to Genesis 11. After the Tower of Babel, languages were divided. Nations were scattered and fought.
Really nicely played. What can they do with this now?
The Bible said, Deuteronomy 13, verse 17, they sacrificed to demons that were no God. Then our time,
Coutinho.
They sacrificed
Rivaldo.
demons that were aliens, but gods. God, they had never known. And
The pass is incomplete. Nicely won.
Yeah, it's great awareness, that. Positioning was spot on there.
But they get sacrificed. They offer to
Doucouré.
We're not done yet. This is getting more and more interesting. But just to recap.
Debinha.
So what happened? Units that built encounters consider with archaeology.
Options available in the middle. They've lost it there, and the attack is over.
Why? That is the reason why they built the tower. In rebellion against God. What was the tower? It was a cigar. It was a temple to worship other fallen beings. A cult to worship Satan. At Eridu, they also worship their God.
On they go under no real pressure.
And
that's where any chance of anything developing disappears.
Of the earth, rebuilding similar cigarettes, again, temple cults all across the world. Look at all these
chance for the equaliser, and he's missed it. Good heavens.
Well, he's got to score, that guy. It's a huge opportunity to equalise.
It was built to connect God or the gods of heaven and earth where the humans live. Many of them were built according to certain stars. People believe that God would come down, and rituals were performed there. Some sexual rituals. One of them called the Healings of God.
Surely now.
This is the kind of sexual challenge
perfectly executed.
Yeah, he's recovered the ball well there. I thought it was almost certain to be a goal.
The sun on earth. He would then become the God that was given on earth. Some sources also explain some of these children, these chosen ones, as the shining eyes.
Happy to just keep the ball in their own half.
They had shining eyes. They also read about the angels.
Teeing up the chance now.
So this is how the fallen angels will be their offspring. Again, remember, even at the last.
Need to be better with the ball.
King Og stole at least 66. Here's another example. This is the Babylonians are from 1800 BC. This is of the sun god Shamash.
Michael
so
Olise.
He was first purging him as the sixth throne holding symbols of justice.
Abdoulaye
Basically a
Doucouré.
rod in the ring. After the flood, we see this kind of thing on
the attack breaks down.
This council of God's spread that grew from this mountain to all cultures. It was not just the ancient Sumerians, but you see that spread even all the way until the time of Jesus to the Greeks and the Romans. After the Tower of
Doucouré.
Babel, we traveled thousands of miles to erecting new cities,
Debinha.
new places to live. This
and that's going to be it for the first 45 minutes.
You see a similar thing with the Egyptians here. You see scenes where Egyptians worship the sun god, and later it's often pictured as a sun disk with rays reaching down into the earth. And also in ancient Egypt, the pharaoh was not just a king; he was seen as a god, a divine ruler. Many Egyptians had.
Off we go again. The second half begins.
We also see a lot of symbols of serpents with Egypt. You have these pictures of humans with serpent-like heads. That just looks weird. But we know this could have been serpent.
Starting to get interested here.
Their father, Sarah,
yet to find a way to go.
All the flame is fiery serpent. The depiction shows eyes that are and it's the same for the heads or the back. You would see sometimes the emperors, but there will always be bigger.
Great instinct there to cut it out.
As I said before, this continues to be the centuries, even after the Greeks, their own. You look at Zeus taking a woman called Alcmene to produce a demigod.
It's a lovely ball. There might be something building now.
Chance to
go level.
Now,
and there's the equaliser. It's all square again. And the game restarts with the score 1-1. Ibanez. Doucouré.
Who are being deceived by the enemy. Separated the nation for himself. In order to save all.
And the attack collapses.
Yeah, really well organised off the ball there.
Adding before the true God, Jesus, the true.
And the forward progress continues. Chance for the lead.
God.
Having to stay patient. A promising move stalls.
That is why Jesus.
Decent chance this. And a firm grip kept on the ball.
Punishment that we should have received. Because God is holding the wretched requirement of the law is death. But he came to death. So that if we accept it, we don't have to. Now, here we
That's a good pass.
For 7. Remember the day of rule.
And it's in. Oh no, it won't count for
your elders, and they will tell you. So this is talking about the old days, the days before the flood, right after the flood. It's talking about what we've been talking about the whole time now. And then he says in verse 8, when the Most High
gave to the nations their inheritance when he divided mankind. Just a quick note here for this important, this God Most High is El Elyon. This language goes back a long time. It's a Semitic language. But also remember, the Sumerians
unable to retain possession. No way through, possession lost.
People knew that there was even the Chinese, for those of you who didn't watch my other videos, before Confucian, before Buddhism and these kind of religions, this only happened 500-600 years before Christ. For around 2,000 years before that, they worshipped one God, the God Most High, called Xiang,
as the ball is lost.
or Tian, which means heaven, sky, which means the God Most High. And the way they wrote this is exactly the same as the ancient Sumerians. The ancient Sumerians just meant in the form of the star.
This could be threatening.
The Chinese only had like a line.
It's in. That gives them the lead, and well deserved, you have to say. So that makes it 2-1, and away we go again.
Divided the nations in this time, right? Before really after the flood, how the nations went with this monotheistic religion. There was always this remnant that worshipped the God as still, as we see with Melchizedek, Abraham.
Olisa.
You need to understand how the nations
Abdullah
divided.
Dukore.
I'm so excited for my
Good patient build-up, but not quite the end product.
And Jesus, he took care of present. Deuteronomy 32 verse 7. Remember the days of old, the years of generations. Verse 8 says, when the Most High gave the nations their inheritance, when he
Come away with the ball.
He fixed the borders of the peoples. The different countries.
Amazing! Had to score but didn't.
Remember, the sons of God is referring to age.
Into the last 20 minutes.
It is angels here. And so,
good work to beat the challenge. They won't be going any further. Nicely won. Could be a chance to break here.
You don't see other angels, you don't know what they're doing. Shift the very quickly for many of you will notice Gabriel L. Like L. L. I mean, what's written by the Sumerians.
Could be here.
Was also L. In our Bibles, the Hebrew language uses El Elyon as the God Most High, or God Almighty, or God of the Mountain. That El, E-L, it used to be Il in ancient texts. The same thing is pronounced differently, but it was an I-L. You'll find this out of our new book called Light Born, because Jesus Christ is the light being born into our world. And we follow all this ancient history with archaeology, focusing on the Bible prophecy from Genesis 3, verse 15, of the seed of the woman who is Jesus, that will be born across the head of the serpent, the devil. So we go back to share the gospel, the Bible, to people, but we start at the beginning, where people that lived for centuries, over 6,000 years ago, there was a forgotten world. With ancient cities like Nepal and where men lived for centuries. And great heroes ruled. An evil darkness was spread. In this world, we follow the story of the darkness. Born a slave, an evil kingdom built on power, fear, and lies. But he gave only suffering. Nothing of the mysterious world of beasts, dragons, gods, and plans beyond his chains. But his story would cover something far greater. Hidden lineage. Descendant of Adam and Seth. God in truth, the world is illusion. Because behind human history there is another war. Fallen beings, Nephilim, and a plan to corrupt everything. But at the center of it all, an ancient prophecy. The coming of the chosen would bring light into darkness. Light into the darkness. We were right now begin.
Already leading by one, and they press home their advantage from this corner. They decide against putting it in. Setting up the chance. The score here.
And we explain many things in this book. We question about this time to request spiritual warfare and
they take a short corner.
We'll check it out on our website. You can also get it in the description. Now, why I'm mentioning this? Because there's a lot of stories today that's very interesting, even like Superman, that people miss, that steal from the Bible, or that uses truth and mix it with some lie. That I believe Satan is also working behind through many of the different kind of stories today. But when we look at Superman, he's from the house of El, the house of God. The name called El. He's also looked at as an alien, right? And so he comes from another world, but he's also coming from the house of God, right? And God did send the fallen angels to earth who sinned. But in this case, this fallen angel revealed to us as a really good one that is here to save mankind. We can make connections of stories like Warcraft, Lord of the Rings, a lot of different stories that actually come from the ancient world of Mesopotamia and the Bible, how they distort truth. But let's continue. Remember
peoples according to the number of the sons of God. Angels. Verse 9 says, but the Lord's portion. This is Yahweh. First he started with the God Most High, he was El Elyon, but now this is Yahweh, the Lord's portion. But Yahweh's portion is his people. Jacob, his allotted heritage. So through Jacob, the nation of Israel started, and Jesus came to save us, right? The word Jesus, the English word, it comes from Yeshua. It means Yahweh is salvation. Yahweh is Jesus. Remember, Jesus also said that before Abraham was, I am. First time, Yahweh revealed himself to Moses at the burning bush. Was also asking, I am Yahweh. This is the covenant name he used with Israel. He said that his fathers, they didn't know him by this name, Yahweh. They knew him as El Shaddai. And we translate it as God Almighty or God of the mountain. Now, again, make a connection with all these secrets built according to mountains. The devil kind of corrupting God's word. Because we also read how God reveals himself to people on mountains. So Yahweh, Jesus, is Israel apart in this world, all around them, many of these other nations worshiping other gods, and that's against Israel. All into warfare against Israel, a spiritual warfare actually. Why? Because the fallen angels are against God's people, against God. But they also wanted to stop the prophecy of the Messiah. They wanted to stop that family line, all the way from Seth to Noah, from Noah, his 3 children, from Shem to Abraham, to the line of David, and then Jesus. The first ever prophecy, Genesis 3, verse 15, God said, I will put enmity between you and the woman, the you is the serpent, and between your offspring and her offspring. This is fascinating. If this is not interesting to you, I don't know what will be. Because a lot of people just live according to lies and deceit, and they just live from the one day to the other in this rat race, and then they die. And that's it. Come on. Live your life on truth with purpose. Understand all the puzzle pieces of life itself. Because it answers all those questions. Why are we here? Where did we come from? Where will we go when we die? All of these things. There is a spiritual battle going on right now for your soul. And a lot of people miss it. All the forces of evil were fighting against Israel to stop the birth of the Messiah. We see it time and time again, even at the time when Jesus came. Also, the killing of all the sons below 2 years of age. And we see how Satan even entered Judas to betray Jesus, and then he did die. So he succeeded, but he didn't know that was God's plan all along. That Jesus was supposed to die for our sins, taking the wrath of God the Father and all sin on himself, so that the righteous requirement of the law could be done, and we can be saved. But after that, you still see, and you see that prophecy of Genesis 3, verse 15 connecting to the prophecy of the end times in Revelation 12, the dragon that was hunting the woman, waiting for her to give birth to the Messiah. And then she gave birth to the Messiah. He couldn't stop it. But then in hatred and wrath, he went after the woman to get her, but in the after the that is the time that you have to see that. All the talk of aliens, it is part of this plan of the enemy. Verse 13 says, and when the dragon saw that he had been thrown down to the earth, he pursued the woman and gave birth to the male child. Then verse 15, he says, then the dragon became furious with the woman and went out to make war on the rest of her offspring. And those who took the commandments of God and hold the testimony of Jesus. I want to ask all these Christians to wake up, especially those of you who argue so much with each other, both different church denominations. Move away from any kind of tradition that is man-made, focus on what the Word of God says alone. Because many things change, cultures, times, trends, but the Word of God will never change. It says for everybody to stay with the Word of God. You know what I'm saying? The devil is smart. He's been here for thousands of years, all fallen angels. He knows how we as humans think and how to deceive us. He had a lot of practice over thousands of years. And he was one of the most powerful angels, as I said, the cherub. It is interesting, he's called also, of course, the dragon of all the ancient serpents, so he could have had some of the serpent features, but he's definitely a cherub angel. When we go to Ezekiel 28, verse 14, it says, you were an anointed guardian cherub. In my language, in Afrikaans, we would say cherub. So I don't know the pronunciation here, maybe cherub, I'm not sure. But he then says, I placed you. You were on the holy mountain of God. In the midst of the stones of fire you walked. So again, here, the stones of fire you walked. So seraphim, again, a fiery kind of angelic being. It also mentions here, again, the mountain of God. Again, many times we read about the mountain of God himself, but then many of these other nations, through Satan, of course, corrupting this idea of the mountain of God and then building this ziggurats as well. That, of course, is representing these mountains. And then this worship of God and the council of God. The council of God, as we read in Job, is just about God himself. The Most High, there's only one God, but he has more than one person. But he has his council of angels. The devil
twisted that, and now he uses a God Most High with a different kind of name, but now he supposedly have children that are also other gods, and even a wife. But now, let's bring it back to today. People who claim to see aliens. They often describe beings of light, strange movements that's not humanly possible, telepathic communication, paralysis, and even fear. So, can demons or fallen angels do this to deceive mankind? Of course they can. To increase the noise, the lies, but there's so much that people don't know what is the truth. That they don't follow the Bible. The only truth there is. Demons have power. They can counterfeit the gifts of the Holy Spirit as well. They can also give people certain experiences. We see that already with Buddhism, how that started with Gautama Gautama, which was actually a prince from, and was focused on Hinduism first, but he opened himself to the spiritual forces and he experienced enlightenment. We see that with Satanism, occultic practices as well, where demons can give people power and give them experiences. When I grew up, and my dad helped a lady that was called the wife of the devil, a Satanist, right? One of the highest that you can experience. There's also, for example, astral projection, where they would sometimes sleep and they want to know what is exactly happening in Japan or China. And what happens is there's a demon in them, and a demon that is there watching and seeing everything that's going on and communicating the information. And so it feels like to that person that they're actually there in that place. All occultic experiences, sorcery, mysticism in the Bible, God is always against it because it doesn't come from Him. It comes from demonic forces. Even if it looks good at first. Remember, 2 Corinthians 11 verse 14 says, Satan disguises himself as an angel of light. This is also why John 4 says that we have to test the spirits. He tells that to believers. So you should do it even in the church, because there can be witches or different kind of occultic people in the church that is counterfeiting the gifts of the Spirit. Some can even do it and they don't even know. They just assume it's from God, because now everything in the church supernaturally must be from God. No. Where does the Bible say that? Of course, the devil will try to deceive us, and this will continue. We see this especially with fake prophecies. It's just divination or fortune telling, right? Some people just make it up, but there can also be demons giving people this ability.
This is the guy Trumbull's. He's the guy that hears from God or pretends to hear from God.
Kelly, is that you? Kelly Rhodes? God knew you'd be here. I didn't, but God did. Did she or you ever live on a 105 like Slaughterhouse or 105 something? Does that make sense? For some reason I saw the word Slaughterhouse, but it wasn't bad. That was a weird. It's a weird. I took the risk because
he just tried to call out her address. He got it wrong, and now he's trying to recover.
Everything else felt like it was, connected to God. But I just maybe research that a little bit. If I miss that part, it's no big deal.
And research it, we did. There is actually a Doris Rhodes who lives on 105 Slaughterhouse, who lives in the same area as the other Doris Rhodes, in the same areas as this event and everything, or where Facebook says she lives, excuse me. It's just a different Doris Rhodes. There's just more than one Doris Rhodes in the region who is similar and older and all this kind of stuff.
Well, nights like these are just what you hope for as a spectator. A warm welcome. I'm Derek Ray, and my commentary partner for this one is the former England international Sue Smith. And we've got action from the Division Rivals League coming right up. What are you expecting?
Well, I can't wait for this one. Both sets of fans are certainly up for it. I'm sure that'll give the players a real boost. They'll be hoping to start the game at a fast tempo.
And the referee gets this game going. Every reason to believe this should be a cracker. And this is the initial 11 for the visitors today. Alisson gets the nod in goal. Nuno Mendes plays with Achraf Hakimi in the fullback positions. And the striker today is Ferran Torres. Rivaldo! And a goal right off the bat. No wonder they're jumping for joy. So the ball rolling again with the scoreline standing at 1-0. Through it. On to Payot. And a goal! The equaliser! Superb entertainment! Underway. Level pegging. 1 goal apiece in this game. Vitor Pereira. Now look at this, they might be able to cash in here. Fine reading of the situation. Eva Payot.
Saying that it is not new intelligence offering new knowledge to mankind, and it grows people away.
Well, when you hit a particular milestone in terms of appearances, you deserve to be highlighted. 100 appearances for the club as of today. Quite the accomplishment.
Yeah, he's a player that you want to have in your team. You can see he's a good professional, a real solid performer. It's a great achievement for him.
Decent looking pass. Really fine piece of defending play.
Jesus was already known as El Shaddai. Jesus was already known from the beginning. John 1 says in the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. And also the Word became flesh and dwelt among us. This is Jesus. He wasn't just here 2,000 years ago. God from the beginning revealed himself to us as human beings in our history, and also the angels. But some people just chose not to believe that and to worship the angels, the creation, instead of the Creator, even to this day. But even the good angels clearly told us not to worship him. Revelation 19, verse 10. Then I fell down at his feet to worship him. But he said to me, you must not do that. I am a fellow servant with you, and your brothers know the testimony of Jesus. Worship God. So, are there
the corner played into the box?
Question is wrong. Question should be, are there different spiritual beings?
Promising passage, but came to nothing.
That way you can say yes, there are.
Excellent defending.
And right now, these same beings are working through evil men, powerful people, government, corporations, to set the table for the Antichrist.
On to Payor.
The time of great deception is coming.
And showing good game awareness.
2 Thessalonians 2 verse 9 says, the coming of the lawless, the Antichrist, is by the activity of Satan, all power and false.
Well, it's a good-looking position. Is there a goal in the future? That's a lovely ball. Rewarded for that brilliant high press.
And so he said, well, what will happen again? Jesus said at the end time will be what? The days no one will.
João Neves.
Will the Netherlands return? What kind of form? What size?
Torres on the ball. Well read to ease the pressure.
Elite society face their DNA from the Netherlands. There's so many questions people have.
And teammates around her. Oh, what a top-notch pass. Outrageously good defending.
Watch the series here.
And he could be in proper trouble here.
First of the saga. This one here to his side. Remember to let the foot focus.
João Neves. Oh, that's splendid play.
I look pretty healthy in the
Takes it on! Well, the keeper did his job. Didn't really have to work hard, in all honesty.
Instead, I had dangerous levels of visual fat wrapped around my
good tackle.
I had no idea, because visual fat doesn't show up.
Mickey van de Ven.
You can't see it in the mirror, but it's the fat that actually drives heart disease, diabetes, inflammation.
Oh, good idea.
And what the team health pod told me to do next.
She has options. Oh, good hand. Touched onto the woodwork.
It scans your entire body with 98% DEXA accuracy. They were basically exactly the same.
Their turn to try to keep it.
Which I'll explain in a minute.
He has teammates around him.
Step on it, grab the handle, and in 30 seconds, it measures 45 different health measures, including how much visual fat you're hiding. It scans your arms, legs, and torso separately.
And give him free rein to run. Cutting in.
You have to break everything down.
Well, there was impending danger, but good defending.
Yeah, they put it back well there.
And for every metric that needs improvement, it gives you personalized action plans right in the end. Exactly what to do, what to think.
Sound goalkeeping to hang on to the shot like that.
But in my opinion, better than those expensive $250 DEXA.
The defenders know you can't really allow space like that. And the pass cut out, real possibilities. An amazing piece of goalkeeping.
I just don't think he can believe that that's not got in, but he's met his match with the keeper. His superb reactions kept that one out.
My visual fat dropped below the danger line. My metabolic age went from 55 to 43.
Could be threatening. Oh, that's high-level defending.
You can make 12,000 homes, but now you can have it at home. It's up to 50% off. It's HSA and FSA Global. Go get yours before the sale ends. Because you can save your life.
Superb defensive judgment to end the attack. Good for the closing down. No one seems able to settle on the ball.
Yeah, they're just pushing the passes a bit here. It's all a bit messy, isn't it?
it's likely that
Very effective pass.
Started with a big what I take the ramps and early on the system. If
Really good build up.
take my own
Can he
feelings
put them
about
ahead?
simulation seriously, it's very likely that starting point is you can never serve in Steve. There is no task which gives you servants to that. That is
Eva Payor.
you probably know
Krunic
outside
has
is there.
it.
We don't know if here escaping and with that situation is going to work. Or just the person with the hand.
Look at this! Oh, a goal! She's gone and done it! She's gone and found the net! Well, 2-1 it is here.
So, you can stand the alarm.
Good-looking pass.
And absolutely agree.
And just blotting out the danger.
Wow, when we create this kind of pass. That's not much of a mess. I kind of feel that you shouldn't worry about chaos. Worry about how we do the ball. We didn't want to break the secretly something we're living now. I think that's what we
Oh,
experienced
did
right
well
now.
to skip through. Oh, to level the match. Really fine piece of defending play to break it up. And with that, the first half draws to a close.
Without these stages, so from the simulation theory, you'll convince we are illustrated. It is very likely, I don't see any way we ever get this technology might have access to creating livable virtual worlds populated by AI.
President of the United States told the country last week that he was releasing information on UFOs. Kept his promise. A lot of people in a panic, and the Bible says a lot of things about what's happening right now. Stick around, because this is what you need to know. All right, folks, let's get into it. Let's tell you this right now. The video that you want interesting and a bit entertaining. There's been a lot of information in the news regarding what's been happening with UFOs. What's coming up in this and I hope Andy will also hang out, my friend Andy Wood.
So back underway, and an intriguing second half in prospect.
And I started voicing of this article regarding what's going on. You're going to see that. And I was a bit dumbfounded.
And passing it well. An example of how to press. Rodriguez. And they give it back possession easily.
Oh, you can't lose it there. It's just not good enough.
And playing it through. The verdict is offside here.
They get this, it shows all the things that they've done, all the awards they've gotten, and
Vitor Ferreira.
So, with all that said, this video has nothing to do with
Creative look about this.
it's all
Owen. Can he level it? No shortage of excitement. Level again. No wonder they're excited.
Well, this is a neat and tidy finish. His movement is great. He finds a yard of space, and then it's so composed.
Well, back underway here, and they've split the 4 goals between them so far. Rodriguez.
Everybody, let's get into it. Okay, I'm with the great Andy Woods. I am going to do something to you guys for the first
Now
time.
with Payor.
I have just heard bits
Untidy on the ball.
all of this UFO stuff. And I'm going to read an article that summarizes the gist of the controversy and what's happening. And then after I do that, we're going to react.
And into the last
Because
30 minutes
we have to
now.
talk about biblical precedent here. Before we go into that,
Trying to tee it up. A textbook interception.
some challenges, but obviously, well, I can tell you that EP is about as simple and speaking of which I fully recorded.
And the defensive intervention there.
Yeah, he anticipated that one well, didn't he?
Is on
Rodrigo. Good distribution. They press them high, and here they come. Neves. Oh, probably disappointed. It looked promising. Can he put them in front? Oh, goalkeeping heroics.
Oh, talk about reactions. How good were his then? It's such close range. That's a brilliant save.
And just like that, broken up. In a decent position. Opportunity here. Oh, big moment. Oh, tremendous goal. Technical excellence to finish that one off. Wonderful to have that in your repertoire. Minge. Very effective pass.
They were either directly involved in or informed about private meetings to prepare congregations for upcoming UFO or non.
Now, can they hit them on the counter? In position. And
there has been a first wave of documents that's been released by the Trump administration regarding UFOs, and none of them are earth-shattering. Okay, I thought I was going to say that right off the bat. Maybe I'm not as enamored by it. I don't know. Okay, and maybe there's going to be something hidden in those documents that are going to come out and look like a fool. But oh well. I'm just telling you what my initial response is. So let me continue with this reading. It says. The controversy intensified after FBI Director Kash Patel publicly said UFO/UAP
sweet end to that counter-attack.
Well, they broke with such pace and intent. It's a fantastic move. They just couldn't quite cap it off.
Payeur. Rudhulit. Oh, it looked really promising for them. Well, just a bit too much on the pass, and this will be a goalkeeper's ball.
I just put a bit too much on it, didn't he?
What is that? What is the most viral? What is the most viral play?
Timber. Nicely constructed. Oh, might be. Well, going for power and so close to finding the net. Well, made it look routine, but read it well.
Okay, the 51 article said, now public possibly split online. Everything said, the whole thing is exaggerated, clickbait, conspiracy culture.
And unable to keep the ball. Well, with 5 minutes remaining and just one goal between them, still the prospect of late excitement in this match. And he has options available. Well, that wasn't a great challenge.
Let's talk about what they claim to say. Now, Israel, the government has recently acknowledged unexplained aerial phenomena.
Can they square this match? Well, that attack collapsed completely. Eva Payeur.
Here we go. Aliens, reptilian beings, which is what they were talking about right now. Secret circulating.
And there to intervene.
Government plans to strike religion.
And the electronic board showing 1 additional minute. This could level it. And there goes the final whistle. And the home fans are going to be happy about this outcome.
Yeah, it was a close game.
really sitting at the intersection of government civil and civil. See that yellow code problem? It's conspiracy speculation, genuine theological questions about how Christians would process extraterrestrial life if they were ever proven. And at the very moment, the way the article makes it, at the moment, there's far more speculation than hard evidence. Okay. Let me find the statement that Trump just released. Okay, I believe Trump just released a statement on releasing information today. UFO information. Let me find it. All right, so here's the statement from the president here. He says, as for my promise to you, the Department of War has released the first tranche of the UFO / UAP files to the public for their review and study. In an effort for complete and maximum transparency, it was my honor to direct my administration to identify and provide government files related to alien and extraterrestrial life, unidentified aerial phenomenon, and unidentified flying objects.
A warm welcome to you, and thanks for joining us for another game live on EA TV. I'm Guy Mowbray with the former Arsenal and West Ham midfielder Stuart Robson alongside me, and we've got action from division rivals coming right up. What can we expect from the game then?
Well, the atmosphere is building nicely here, and we've got two teams who like to play good football. Let's hope we get a good game here. It should be.
And with that, the first half is underway. This is the home side's team today. Alisson is in goal. Ashraf Hakimi plays with Nuno Mendes in the fullback roles. And they go with a single striker leading the line.
And I did get a call from somebody, like to be from the government, and the person contacted me via email, gave me all their
and the defence regains control.
Well, they were nice and compact there and defended that fairly easily.
They need to get tighter here. And it's on here. Fearless block. They take a short corner. Going for it. And the attack collapses.
Your congregation, those within your pyramid. As you were talking, I was trying to dig up that email. But
well, it's only right that we're focused on him. 100 appearances for the club as of today. What an achievement.
Well, he's been a brilliant signing, hasn't he? The fans love it.
Surely now. And it's an early lead. A terrific start.
It was like the guy who was talking to the government that was concerned about how the public or how the community would react.
Neves.
He wanted to know.
Intercepted. Great reading of the game.
I took the liberty to give him my information. And I collected it.
Oh, chance! And enough on it to score. They've scored now. And you have to feel for the goalkeeper, having to keep them out single-handedly. Where were the defenders? Neves. Ball lost and the chance gone. Rafinha.
And that was sort of the end of the conversation. And he always put that forward all kinds of stuff. I can validate who he was. I passed it on to
That's not a bad looking ball.
He kind of passed it on there. And then I got
Ball one, well read.
I know some of those guys by name. I don't do it regularly. I didn't, or at all, quite frankly. I just passed it on to Greg out.
Taking this on. Let's have a deal with it. Nicely gathered. There's a lot of time for him. That's not going to cut it. Beaten easily here.
Out there. This time around, based on personal experience, what they're seeing might have announced credibility. Okay, all right.
Rivaldo. Vitinha. Well, that's really well cut out.
Good anticipation there. It really was.
Who could this be then? Like
Park Ji-sung.
Apparently, these pastors are telling the truth about this thing. It looks like contractors, whatever, but like there's this nonsense going on with these Congress people, Nothing expensive. One thing I could break touchdown was my first home.
Have a go here. Saved and held on to as well. Vitinha.
And he was concerned that once these disclosures are made, that it's going to undermine the faith of people.
The pass is incomplete. Nicely won. Someone's got to do something about this. Opportunity now. They won't be going any further.
Well, I can't believe that didn't go in. So close to finishing this game off.
João Neves.
Weird things happen, and then you forget about it.
Now Hakimi.
Back, and then you're thinking, oh, wait a minute, that's what happened to me.
Torres.
I guess I feel honored for going before this. I mean, when he came 16, in fact, that's what he said.
Drifting on and still going, but it will now be tidied up and cleared away.
Give me his credentials, give me contact information.
Pina.
That I'm not.
Pina. Oh, a last-ditch tackle clears it away.
Well, defending doesn't get much better than that.
Into the conversation. So when I hear other people say they have something similar,
could take things forward a notch here.
Very similar out to me. Okay, so
struggling to keep it here.
I mean, depending on what comes out, depending on what's going on. I mean, clearly you didn't get on a platform and start punching your home finger like you did. No, because I forgot about it. I mean,
moving it quickly and moving forward.
Now,
this has to be. And a save to prevent what would surely be the winner.
Yeah, what a big stop that was. So late in the game as well.
Decent chance. Oh, superb reflexes. And they go short with the call. Chance here. Well, there's another, and they're running away with it now. It's become a question of just how many they'll get. Game keeps going. No real benefit there, so free kick it is.
Very much in agreement.
Well, not long to go until the break, and the score tells the story. The hosts clearly second best in this first half.
Well, it's not been a good first half, that's for sure. They've looked lethargic, they've lost key battles all over the pitch, and just haven't defended well enough. Something needs to change after the break, otherwise this could end up being a rout.
And that brings to an end the first half here at Benfica.
People are, always trying to reveal evidence of care. I guess even if you provide me with the evidence, it doesn't matter. Believe number one in miracles. In the Bible, it's filled with miracles. And number two, I believe that miracles can come into existence, not always, but sometimes, and God has absolutely nothing to do with it. I mean, I'm teaching through the book of Exodus at my local church. There it is, right there in Exodus 7 and 8, where Pharaoh's magicians could imitate what Moses and Aaron were doing up to a point. I mean,
there's the restart. Off we go again.
Powers that they had. I think so with that.
Good cross into the middle. Well, in the end, it proved to be right in the keeper's zone.
They could never reverse God's miracles, by the way.
Cherky.
They could multiply the cross. They could reproduce the zone.
And we could watch that sort of skill all day.
So that American, in and of itself, is a paramount of the drill. Actually, it's true.
Razor sharp reactions.
Oh, that should have been a goal, but what a save that was.
And it's a short corner. Oh, should score. And the shot thwarted.
Well, it's great awareness, bravery, and clever positioning. Well, those stats back up what we've been watching. It's been a really one-sided game, and it's far too easy for them to open up this defence. This could turn into a rout.
Yeah, it all seems so easy for them right now, and on they go again. The approach played they looked encouraging, but good defending to snuff out any threat. And it's been given as offside. Owen. This is Hakimi.
I mean, Paul is pretty clear on this. One.
João Neves. Ball given away.
Give us you a different gospel. Let them be.
Ryan Sheck.
So we don't evaluate students by
genuine chance
over
here.
and over in the Bible.
That's how to deal with it. Nicely gathered.
They're going to find some wonders that come to pass.
Great instinct there to cut it out.
If you are not to follow them,
oh, could be a chance here. Has a go. Oh, against the bar.
And the temple making minutes with the dark side and put on some great experiences.
Taking a chance. A vital block. Corner taken short. And it must be. Well, that's what he's there for. It's a good stop. Ashraf Hakimi.
I believe he had a real vision. But it obviously wasn't a God.
All one, well read. Ryan Cherky.
I think just had to move on to other pastors. I had the right of this. I think that's what this guy was.
Michael Owen. Wrong side of the defence, offside. Possession changes hands. He's in here. Cherky.
What Jeffrey is, I think the answer is very, very good. In the sense that you know what you're supposed to do.
Oh, brilliant anticipation.
But what happens?
Still allowed to run on here.
This is something that we get.
Michael Owen.
This is it. This is because that's what happens. There's a lot of that.
Vitinha. Rivaldo. João Neves. Oh, it must be here. And the keeper does well to keep it out. Just a little untidy.
And you get an action team, you got that human-sized sniper. It's able to predict it. There's some degree of accuracy.
Oh, he's done well to get past his man. It's not clear yet. Perfectly anticipated, really well won. And it's been cut out. There's the turnover. Ryan Cherky. Good run. Now, can he pick out the right option? Ryan Cherky. And superb technique to get past his man. This could be. And the flag's up. It's offside.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Stay onside, and that could have been a really big chance.
Oh, should score. Oh, sensational from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, there's not much you can say about that. It's just a breathtaking stop, isn't it?
And it's a short corner. The defence quick to snatch it back. That one's gone out. Throw in to come. Oh, good vision. Cherky. Got room to operate in here. And the final whistle wraps up a match that's gone the way of the visitors.
What a good performance that was. They did most things right.
So I would have the staff grip do that at times is limited. And I'd rather invest in something that's going to last than chasing all of these things down. So, you know, it's just a matter of Bible study. I mean, if you're going to turn Ezekiel 3 and all this flying saucer, here's ignoring what it says. Those are flying saucers, those are angelic manifestations. That's the cherubim and the angels surrounding God's throne that are contacting Ezekiel because he has an assignment from God in the exilic time period to receive this book that we call the Book of Ezekiel. So that flying saucer, I mean, give me a break. That's not a flying saucer. That's an angelic manifestation. So if you want to turn that into a flying saucer, you need a good night's sleep, is what I would say. Yeah, so, and I'm glad you said that because I want to address it. I think it's important, and I haven't really addressed it in a long time. But, you know, they go to Ezekiel chapter 1, and they see words like, you know, a wheel in the middle of the wheel, or rings full of eyes, living creatures moving like lightning, something like glowing metal, and they say, you know, that sounds like a flying machine or, you know, a spacecraft of some sort, right? But the reality of it is, I think you're right. I don't think that Ezekiel is describing, you know, modern technology with ancient language or anything like that. But I do think it's fair to maybe read some of these verses. I'm going to do it real quickly because we should probably work through it for just a second. It says, "And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself, and the brightness was about, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber out of the midst of the fire." You skip down to like verse 15. It says, "Now as I beheld the living creatures," those are the operative terms as you just mentioned, right? "Behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures, with his four faces, the appearance of the wheels, and their work was like unto the color of a beryl, and four had one likeness, and their appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. As for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful," meaning, I'm assuming Elizabeth and King James English, you know, like this, wow, right? "And their rings were full of eyes round about them four." So, my thinking with the problem with this whole UFO interpretation is that just people stop reading too early. Or on purpose, they're choosing to stop reading too early because just a few verses later, verse 26, "And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of a sapphire stone, and upon the likeness of the throne that was the likeness as the appearance of a man above it." Verse 28 says, again, very similar, but it tells us more. "This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of God." So it's telling us what this is, right? "And when I saw it, I fell upon my face." So I don't think Ezekiel is describing a machine here. I think he's describing a vision of the glory of God. And that's what I think it is. And I think the wheels and the eyes, if you look at the context, they actually represent, you know, in terms of the context, the cherubim. And actually, I think it's later on, what is it? In Ezekiel 10, correct me if I'm wrong, 9 or 10, where it talks a little bit more about the cherubim. I think the wheels represent some movement that is associated with the throne of God. And maybe I'm going too far with this, but I think the eyes represent what it always has. You know, awareness, you know, omniscience, for lack of a better term. You know, some kind of intelligence that we're capable of being able to comprehend. I think the whole scene is God's throne that's mobile, like his mobile throne on a vehicle. Yeah. You know, Isaiah 6 collaborates it. Revelation 4, we see it. Daniel 7. I don't know, bro. That's kind of what that's the way I see it.
Well, I see it the same way. I mean, Ezekiel is seeing heavenly creatures. And we know there are heavenly creatures. I mean, remember when Isaiah was called into the ministry, he sees beings with 6 wings. Yep. My point is when you study these heavenly encounters, these chapters in Ezekiel, Isaiah 6, you've mentioned Revelation 4, Revelation 5, where we're given a glimpse of the heavenly scene.
Warm welcome on what is a perfect day to watch football. I'm Guy Mowbray. Alongside me is the former England striker Sue Smith. And the focus here is on division rivals action. What are we going to get from this one, Sue?
I think it's so important that both teams start on the front foot, take the game to the opposition, and an early goal would certainly settle any nerves.
And with that, the first half is underway. This is the home side's team today. Alisson is in goal. Ashraf Hakimi plays with Nuno Mendes in the fullback roles. And the main man up front is Kylian Mbappe. And a change in possession.
Yeah, the positioning was spot on there, wasn't it?
Mbappe. The need for a stoppage here. Oh, a really poor challenge. What's the referee going to do here? Oh, chance! And that was a real chance, an early chance, but it's been missed.
And he should have scored. He'll have to refocus now because there's a long time left in this game.
That's a good ball. James Garner. Closed it down well.
Satisfied with explanations like that, rather than
Kaka. Oh, I wonder where this is going. But it will now be tidied up and cleared away.
There we go. Getting some lecture from someone on why people do it. My document.
Plenty of open space to explore here. This could be the first blow of the day struck early. 1-0. Rafinha. Oh, could be here. Given away by Cheers Jeff. Setting up the chance. Kaka. Scruffy play, ball lost. Oh, looks like he could be seeing yellow here.
He's telling us in chapter 10.
Well, he didn't miss by much. Fantastic effort, particularly from that sort of range.
Well, I thought it'd be coming into the box. It takes a lot of confidence to try that. He's not rewarded on this occasion, though.
Promising looking attack, this. And the promise of something happening is over. Kaka hits the upright.
Well, that wasn't far away, and a 2-goal lead would have certainly changed the game and the approach. But as it is, though, it could still go either way.
We're in possession again, and maybe another opportunity developing now. Chance to score, and it's taken away. Terrific. Mbappe, and there's another one. Valuable breathing space for them now.
Well, here it is again, and this is great pressure, high up the field. They don't just go in ones and twos, they all go together. That makes it so difficult to play out. Then it's a nice finish after that.
Here's Jeff moving the ball forward with real purpose. James Garner in the right position to cut out the pass. Kylian Mbappe. Nicely played through. Vitinha. Well, there's another. And they're running away with it now. It's become a question of just how many they'll get. And we're back underway at 3-0. Julian Ryerson. Oh, that's been won really smartly. They've come away with the ball.
That's what I think. We're not talking about UFOs. We're talking about
Kaka. Good patient build-up, but not quite the end product.
We already mentioned Isaiah 6. You mentioned Revelation 4 and 5. A bunch of times. You've got Daniel 10 describing occurrences in the heavenly battles.
Here's Jeff, have the ball back.
You've got Daniel 12, who talks about Michael. Guard over Israel. And,
Oh, it must be here. Oh, quality keeping.
Well, he certainly showed his class there with that save. You'd expect him to score from there, but he comes from nowhere to keep that out.
For every good work, including discerning.
I'm afraid that's careless.
From paranormal or demonic activity from divine activity.
Kaka. Kylian Mbappe. Great instinct there to cut it out. Nicely played. And the flag's up. Offside the call. Neves. That will be a throw-in now.
Yeah, well, to kind of bring this full circle, I think that's what the fellow in the government is trying to help back to 2024. You know, that these things are going to come out, and I guess they're worried about people.
Free kick given. This could be dangerous.
He refused me.
And I think he was right in contact.
Pinch read his mind there.
Yeah, really good work there to see what was happening, wasn't it?
Who's going to do it? Yeah, but the problem is these things happen.
They can't go any further here. Offside.
Able to better conceptualize things with a biblical perspective.
Has a go. I'm sure he thought he'd scored there. Great goalkeeping.
You know,
they decide against putting it in.
It's bad. I mean, now we have to apologize for the line.
Ball lost and the chance gone.
You've got this big massive.
Kylian Mbappe.
The quick time on my video. It's bad. Yep, and I agree with you.
And that'll do it. The end of the first 45 minutes here.
Capitalize on personal conversations to make themselves bigger and better. I mean, they're basically that's it, and that's the problem. And that's what we need to do. Yeah. Well, I think we pretty much beat this out of the subject, bro. Thank you for being with me to talk about this, because I think it's an important issue. And what would you say to people who are in the midst of this, or are talking to individuals who are in the midst of this, where there's a lot of panic, sensationalism, talking back and forth? Final word, bro. Let me give it to you. Well, I mean, the Bereans were more noble than the Thessalonians because they searched the scriptures daily. Acts 17, verse 11 tells us to see if these things were so. So I just look at this as another opportunity to be a Berean. You know, just strange things happen in this world. The Bible claims to equip us for every good work, so start searching the scriptures. Don't use it to go down rabbit holes and rabbit trails as you're spending all of your time in associated conspiracy theories.
We're underway, and we've certainly seen a commanding performance so far.
Getting into dissensions and disputes about genealogies, majoring on minors. You know, don't go down that road. Don't go down the non-biblical road.
Neves.
You'll never climb out of that. Because once you get through one trapdoor, it sort of puts you into another trapdoor.
Adeyemi.
And before you know it, you've wasted
open invitation on the wing here.
Thing that they can set up.
This has to be.
Amen and amen to that, bro. Amen and amen to that. I don't have anything to add other than that exact thing. Study the Word of God. Put your faith and trust in Him and remain consistent in the discipline that He puts in front of us. That's powerful. All right, bro. Well, thank you. This has been a good conversation. I think people are going to be blessed to hear it and to watch it, and more of this to come. I wish that wasn't the case, but that's how it goes. All right, guys. Well, we love you. Pay attention to the things that matter. Take the Word of God and use it to continue to fight the good fight.
That's top goalkeeping. Stay big and make the right decision.
Short corner it is. And over the touchline it goes. It will be a throw-in now.
We were never officially asked with any team or UFO.
Well, he's lost the ball.
Did we
and
do
any
them?
chance
Well,
has gone.
yeah. It became to be
Moving forward well.
apparent that there's not us, there's us
them. Each with their own much innovations here seem to be perfect. I've also come to the conclusion that the ET bases, they're more like reservations where our governments have said, you don't bother us, we will bother.
It seems like there's a galactic battle.
Here's Jeff
Those
regaining
that are friendly
possession.
to us and maybe antagonistic with those that are not friendly with us.
Quick to
What is
snatch
the
it
end game?
back.
Those who are more creative than we are want us to develop our psychic abilities. We can see across space and time like we can see across the room. If we have that ability to develop, we will be a power of the universe. That's why our enemy couldn't attack.
I think as many of us, myself included, have been trying to ring the Beard's bell.
Those are enemies and more psychic. We are going to be very happy. How do you be one of the survivors? One of the survivors.
Well, he's got two now, and he's playing a starring role here.
And then as soon as he's through on goal, you were always confident Mbappe would finish it. He gets so much
I
power
was
on the shot.
working
He's
as
got
a
no chance.
language computer programmer over in Augsburg, Germany.
Come on.
They wanted a program that would tie the intelligence computers of 12 different countries together, talking to each other. And each country has a different language and different
Could be dangerous.
setup for their intelligence.
That must have been
So,
close.
It was. That's so unlucky. A really
um,
tight call.
the
Great
ultimate
movement,
fate
so
is
we'll
one
be
under
frustrated.
sergeant
But it was the right decision.
And I got the job.
That one's gone out. Throw
With
in
the
the come.
turning point. So it took me about 8 or 9
Karim
months to write
Adeyemi.
that program. And when
Nicely
the day came
sets it
to
up.
show it to
Struggling to
the
keep it here.
commanding generals of the 12 different countries, they were all gathered in the room, and I went to the bathroom to, had everything all set up. Went to the bathroom to make sure my hair was right, there was no wrinkles.
That's a fantastic challenge.
Came back,
Slid in to win it.
did my little
Oh,
song
that was a
dance
bit dangerous
introduction,
in the area.
and then
All the room for them
to
here.
show it, I hit the enter key,
Oh, surely.
and the screen was hit,
Now, surely.
and the German started laughing.
Absolutely
And
stunning
the other
defending.
sergeant was at the back door, and he said, "Gotcha," and turned around and walked off. And I got flaming angry. Well, I have had easy ability all
On he
my
goes.
life.
Terrific.
Oh, that was
The attack is over.
Yeah.
How would you describe your PK abilities so for the audience who may not know?
Kylian
Have you ever heard of
Mbappe.
the poltergeist children?
Here we go. Time
Those
for the
children when they
transition.
get upset, things fall off
Great
the and
chance
all
here.
that.
And there's his second of the match. Leading the way for the team.
Spraying their kids out of it. But I was one of those my mother encouraged it, actually.
That's a good spot.
And
Well played.
encouraged me to develop high ability.
The attack broken up.
And so anyway, I got flaming angry when I did. The intelligence computers of the entire station went down. There was an estimate that
Now,
I
here's an
had
invitation.
burned out
Hard work pays
almost
off. They
$50
won the
million
ball.
worth of computers. And I knew what had happened, but I wouldn't say anything, and just oops. And anyway, General Bond, the head of the intelligence
Setting up the
security
chance.
command,
Just needs
was
the
looking for
composure
people
now.
who had this ability.
This could be it.
Yeah,
Two becomes three as he
was-
completes his hat-trick. A
and they were
superb performance.
and they put it.
7
And about
goals
2
in the
months
game
later,
now, then
Jim
5-2
Kilbot
as he
came out
kicks off again.
to install a new commander for the field station.
Rafinha.
What he did, he wanted to see me.
Great
And
instinct there to cut
I
it
thought,
out.
I did go off. Yeah.
Hakimi.
And so anyway, he took me into the new commander's office, turned around with the brand new commander and said, "I need to talk to
Here's
Sergeant
Jeff with the
Buchanan."
ball again.
You can imagine which four-letter list I went to the top of and bent down the night. And if you've ever seen the movie Stare at Ghosts, someone come by and got right up to my face and said, "Did you kill my computers with your mind?" Yes, sir, I did.
Mbappe.
All right, if I ever get it done.
Really good interception to take the
He wanted
ball.
to back to DC to start a unit that would, first of all, destroy enemy computers, hopefully with the end result of learning how to control enemy computers instead of destroying them, so we could make
Well, not long to go until the end, and the hosts well in charge. They've put on a super show.
They've obviously been fantastic up top. They said that's fine. Some of the goals they've scored have been top class. No way we're going to got to praise the work ethic as well. So, really good performance all round.
No whistle, but now he's in. And it looked as though the chance was on, but they lost it.
Kind of passive operation to continue your psychokinesis work, or were you actually legitimately going to switch lanes and start working on another unit?
Yes, according to presidential order 4333, we conduct active mental work. And we did not revoke youth who had citizen unless there was proof that it was for national security and ordered by Congress. So we were taking Congress to get us to even remote you, a U.S. citizen. Active mental work, absolutely.
So you're now charged with this act of remote the form of espionage, I suppose. But what were some of your first assignments? And when did you know that they were there? Or something happened that you and the team were able to access that was real extent?
My first session, they had a stack of envelopes, and they sent two of the other viewers out. They picked an envelope that was sealed and drove away from the unit. After they got outside of the unit, they opened the envelope and went to the place that was listed in the envelope. And I was to access them mentally and tell where they were. And I thought, this is crazy. I can't do this, And so I tried, and all I got was two people driving a car and looking out the window being lost and couldn't find their way anywhere. So anyway, after the couple came back, they were supposed to have gone to a playground right outside of Fort Meade. They got lost and couldn't find it and drove the whole time. And that's what we reported. And at that point, I thought, maybe I can do something like this.
Wow.
And so then they started training me. I went through the training of the English line controlled remote unit method, which is what the military used, and became a full-fledged viewer. And eventually, after about 2 years, became the trainer of the unit.
Wow. I want to, at some point, I want to circle back and talk about this method and how people can get back to that. So stick around. But I want to hear some more of, because there were some wild things that you saw. And I'm sure some of what you saw was classified and pertains to things that shouldn't be talked about. But some of the things you're willing to talk about, and they're very interesting, and they pertain to also this next turbulent stretch that we're going through in humanity.
Yeah.
So,
well,
what were some of the
welcome
things
to
outside
another
of
exciting
the
game
classic
brought
military
to you by
operations that once you
EATV.
harness this
My
skill, I'm
name's
sure
Guy
there's
Mowbray, and
a
alongside me
curiosity
is
and
Sue
also,
Smith for commentary.
just a desire
We've got a
to see what
division
you can
rivals
see. So,
game on the
what
way
were some
for
of
you.
these things that you
What can
started
we
to
expect from the
tap
game
into
then?
beyond
Great to
the
be here. I think
military
it's important
operations?
that both teams are focused from the off though and they start quickly. But I'd love to see some goals. Hopefully I've not just cursed it.
So we, I learned to use it to make better decisions, to make money, and make my family's life better. We went from like $4,000 a
This
debt
is the
to
home side's team today.
owning our own
Alison
home,
is in
owning
goal.
everything that we
Ashraf
paid,
Hakimi plays
money
with
in the bank
Nuno
and all
Mendes
that.
in the fullback roles.
that,
And the main man up
also,
front is
in the
Kylian
practice
Mbappe.
seconds. Now, let me point out
This
here,
is
we
how
were
Saints
never
line up today.
officially
They
tasked
are
with
lining up in a
any
4-3-3 system, and with this, it naturally creates triangles
Did we do
all
them?
over the
Well,
pitch.
yeah.
So it means
Practice
lots of
sections,
options
and,
for
if
players. It does allow them to
four-star
get forward
general
and
came in,
support the
said,
attacks as well.
would you do me a favor? Let's start going to say, no, sir.
Wrong side of the
You know,
defence,
and
offside.
so, but we were never officially asked to do ET part. Did we do them? Oh, sure. Yes, we did.
This is looking good. Now what
As
comes
practice,
next?
that's big.
All right, EP targets.
Yeah, he had to time that well, and he did.
What did you see?
There were
This looks a promising move from the
There
Saints.
were
What a chance here.
He keeps basing
The first blow of the day was struck early.
the part of it. And that was really the standard
Back underway
thing to see
at 1-0.
if we could do those. I did 3 of them. I never did the fourth Pyrenees, no. But there's one in not Ace, Alaska, one in Zimbabwe, Mount Needle.
No wonder they're celebrating.
And
Incredible.
so I did those, and come to find out, my sketches, my bindings, everything else were exactly, I mean, measurably the same as had been found almost 15 years before that by one of the best remote ever at parts.
Alright, so these are bases that are built by ETs or built by humans to research and reverse engineer technologies, etc.
There were humans working there, but I don't think those humans were working. I think, well,
moving the ball forward with real purpose.
As if my feeling is correct, okay? When the Anunnaki, or whatever you choose to call them, were here before and left the planet, they took people with them. They were slaves here, so they took slaves to go with them. And those people have been on other planets. And now then that the ETs are coming back, they're bringing those slave people. So there are humans there, but I don't think they're born on Earth.
Oh, that was a gamble. Could have easily been a penalty, that.
The one at Mount Hay, Mount Deal, from what I found, tends to be a sort of an entry point to the Earth, that is the entry portal to the Earth. ETs come there and disperse out around the planet. The one in Zimbabwe seems to be a UFO repair facility. The one in Hayes in Alaska seems to be some kind of an intelligence gathering thing for the ETs. And I never did the one in the 30s, so I'm sure about that.
So what is this cosmological story? So there was a, and where is what you saw versus what you kind of pieced together some stories from other stories? So I guess I'm curious what the story is, and then where that story comes from. What is the actual remote viewing observation that you saw, and then what was pieced together by other narratives?
By other narratives, basically the same information. Joe McMoneagle, who is fantastic remote viewer, found the one in Hayes active, and that was about 5 years before I did mine. I found it still working automated but abandoned by the ETs. There were no ETs there, but everything was working in an automated fashion. So I guess they didn't need to be there. The one in I can say it seems to be like an airport. I should come in, land, be playing, and people get on it, leave again, and all that. The ETs, people, and whatever. And it seems basically like a space age airport. I saw it friendly, as friendly.
Kaka working the ball really
other
nicely.
work that I've done, I've also come to the conclusion. Okay, I have no proof.
Does anybody want to make a challenge here?
On my own feeling that the ET
It was really nicely finished.
maybe your next person, people like reservations that our government have said, you said here, and here's your reservation, like the Indians get reservation. Here's your reservation. You don't bother us moving further. And those locations were granted to them, then them coming in to secretly taking.
That's a good ball.
So then there's been an awareness and communication and either some type of alliance or collaboration with some kind of deep state structure or some kind of siloed aspect of the government, or is it kind of?
I think that's not even a secret anymore.
Right.
I think that's commonly known.
And then, so what is the end game? Like, what are they trying to do? Are they just checking us out? Are they here to help us facilitate and activate us? Because they want something that we got. Like, where are you at?
Back underway. What's been a remarkable game so far. Do they have one more goal in them?
I was asked to do a paper comparing and contrasting their attacking ability with our attacking ability.
They look dead worried, but this is truly one of the great comebacks. Can they see this out now?
It became immediately apparent that there's not us and them. It's us, them. And there are many different thems, each with their own effect and all that. So, in the comparison of psychic ability,
Oh, they scored again! The game had only just restarted after the last one.
Well, here we can see it again, and this is what he's capable of given the time and space. You've got to question the defending. Could they have got a tackle in earlier? It's a
in those two
wonderful
groups,
solo echo.
our enemies and our friends. That's an important group.
Bastian Schweinsteiger.
Our enemies with equal or less that we have don't tend to come here except
Good
maybe by
defending,
accident.
just when it was looking threatening.
The ones with equal or less that we do come here for trade. And in fact,
moving the ball
a
forward.
friend of
What can
mine,
they do from here?
well, he's retired now, and charged one of the
regaining possession.
branches. And he basically confirmed that they're here for trade.
What are they looking for?
Materials, things like that. And the last time I was out there, talking to him, I said, "What are we trading now?" And he kind of chuckled and he said, "Well, regular stuff." But also, he said, they're so advanced that they don't need anything anymore except materials. And so their creativity is just wonderful.
And with that, the first half in Lisbon comes to an end.
He said, they're giving stuff that they think is just common. We're taking it and getting creative with it. And he said, some of what we're trading back now is their own stuff and they're going to get it. And so anyway, those who are more creative than we are, they think it's just common. We're taking it and being creative with it. And he said, some of what we're trading back now is their own stuff and they're going to get it. And so anyway, those who are more creative than we are, they think it's just common. We're taking it and being creative with it. And he said, some of what we're trading back now is their own stuff and they're going to get it. And so anyway, those who are more creative than we are want us to develop our abilities, psychic abilities, and you'll hear time and time again. People get abducted and then they start having psychic abilities. And those are enemies and we're psychic. We are
All they could do was put it behind.
And they would be very happy to see all this. And I couldn't figure out why.
Well, maybe
and there was just one
it's
incident
by quite a
that made it sort of all gel.
There's so much
There was
pressure
some
on him just as he's
guys
about to head this. Means he can't
camping
hit the
on the
target.
lakeside. And one evening, they were standing by the lake and they saw this ET. I mean, this flying saucer. And they were watching. And it came up and got right over them. And they were frozen and abducted. And something about that added all the information that seemed
I need to practice low shots.
in my mind. And I realized those ETs had more psychic abilities than those humans standing there on the lake. But they didn't have any brain.
Well read,
They
just
had
as
to
it
be
was
right
looking
over them.
promising.
Yeah,
In order
dealt
to
with that
abduct them.
really well, didn't he?
And, in order to flee. And in the remote viewing that we learned, we can see across space and time, like we can see a person look. And we're going
Great
in space.
instinct there to cut it out.
Okay? And when we get there,
Mbappe has given us a
if we
five-star
had that
performance
ability
up to now.
to develop,
Top player at the top of his game.
Well,
he would be a
It's a
overpowered leader.
three-goal lead,
And
and
we
the
can see
win
through space and
almost
time.
guaranteed.
And
here's the replay.
that's why
And just
our
look
friends
how
want us
quickly
out
they
there
go from defence
with
to
that
attack.
ability to
And he
develop.
makes the striker's
That's
job
why I'm
relatively
gonna
easy. All he has to do is make the right connection. It's a really good goal.
Sports cards, magic cards, comments, stamps, points. And as I've gotten older, I've transitioned to collecting.
That's a good challenge, as it goes.
Secrets
stable stores
Jan Bednarek.
impossibly cool thing about my new company, Melmark, as part of the Auburn Knights
Played in with that.
is that it combines both of these things.
The attack broken up.
Full,
Really
sayable,
well organised off the
coverable,
ball there.
fractional gold notes. There is an impossibly beautiful,
Might get caught on the break here.
collectible, limited edition product. So if for some reason you don't like the art anymore, or the art loses its value, you can always just keep the gold. If any other class of art loses its value, all you're left with is paper, or in the case of NFTs, pixels. And if you were just starting to collect gold, instead of having to drop 27 those that are friendly to us, and maybe antagonistic to those that are not friendly with us, and there's a kind of like a stasis equally matched powers, and then so those that are friendly to us are looking to develop and help us advance so that we can actually maybe turn the tide, and then probably those that are less friendly to us want to make sure we never reach that capacity so that we're eliminated from the galactic battle that's going on.
That's what I get from my view. And also, you look at the ancient art, I mean, our art from the medieval times and all that. I have the UFOs fighting with each other. And, I think there's been a battle going on.
And the work pays off as they get the ball back.
Longer than we can even understand.
Well, does anybody want to make a challenge here?
How much do you think
Playing their way into
that
danger
both
here.
benevolent and malevolent extraterrestrial entities, how much influence are they wielding now
Into the last
under,
20 minutes.
Under the power structures that are
Decent, making
underground
progress
here
here.
and moving in the world, and exerting different levels of control? I just spoke with a channel, Lee Harris, who was talking about a control grid that kind of snapped on right into the limit of ability to actually come to our full fruition.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I'll be honest, I have no idea. I haven't did it. I haven't been tasked with it, and
Bastian
there's
Schweinsteiger.
nothing I can do about it.
This is what they've been looking
And
for,
so,
the counter-attack.
when it comes time that
Well, it looked
I do
promising,
a
but came to
session,
nothing in the end.
I'd rather help break off as a kid.
Yeah, understood.
Is that
Understood.
it? No. Yeah.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense.
Wasteful from the
now,
Saints.
in doing some research for the show, I came across something that was rather chilling, which was some viewings of whatever this power structure that exists, or power structures. And I'm also open to the idea that there's warring factions within the deep state structures that have different incentives and goals. I think people make the leap that it's all of a sudden all the demons are getting along. The demons never get, they're always treating each other. So like whatever the deep state is, it's probably likely that they're each trying to seize the ring of power for themselves. But nonetheless, revealing the series of man-made, but for those who are human natural disasters, that would be part of a depopulation agenda that will start to kick off anytime after the experience, or maybe has already kicked off. Whereas,
Weighted pass.
The Russians have an earthquake with it. If they hit the area, there's a volcano there on the shore facing the U.S. And if that splits off,
Turnaround in possession, excellent
U.S.
positioning.
Geological Service has already said that the tsunami can hit up to 26 miles inland on the U.S. East Coast. And that it'll hit Florida on the East Coast. It'll go into the Gulf of Mexico where there's no release and basically bounce back and hit the west coast of Florida. And most of Florida will be blocked out. If they get Yellowstone National Park with a heavy earthquake,
I swear this game is scripted, bro. I want this, but bro,
we can flood.
it wasn't fair for my opponent. Not at all, but how did that? I was spamming tackle and I got the ball without a foul. Crazy.
Have it. And
what the Chinese have? What type of weapons?
They have other weapons. One of the things that they've already shown is the use of like COVID. Okay, that kind of natural disaster. But anyway, it's gotten to where there's no need for tanks and planes and guns anymore. The countries can wipe each other out if they wanted to, and they don't want to. However, when you look at it globally with the ET question, you realize that in order to get into space, we need to have one world, one government of some kind. And, you know, the Bilderbergers, if you've heard of them, from decades ago, have been trying to get one world, one government. Many of our politicians are old loggers, OWG, one world, one government. And in order to have that, you have to first destroy the supremacy of the U.S., and then Russia, and then Greece and Italy, and then France and England. And the U.S. goes first. How do you destroy a country? You destroy the education system. You destroy the healthcare.
And divide the population into as many different competing factions as possible. So there is no United States anymore. It's just states, and it's states of consciousness. It's states against states. It's red versus blue. It's all of the, you know, races are split, genders are split. You know, put people in as many warring silos as possible, and then no longer is their national identity.
Yeah,
make being a patriot something that is bad. You know, like that's the plan, and that plan is certainly seemingly, you know, well underway.
Well, it seems like it. Yeah. I just I keep hoping I'm wrong. But I did a session back in 1998.
Well, welcome to you, and thanks for joining us for another game live on EA TV. I'm Guy Mowbray,
and what I found
you commentary along with England legend Sue Smith. And what a story we could get here with promotion on the cards. How do you see this one going then, Sue?
Well, you just feel if they play how they have done all season, they're going to get the job done. They've got some quality within the side. They know it's not going to be easy, but I'm sure they'll be fairly confident that they're going to get promoted.
I was tasked to be the teacher up to 2050. And what I found was
this is how the hosts line up. Alisson is in goal. Nuno Mendes starts with Ashraf Hakimi as fullbacks, and the main man up front is Kylian Mbappe.
75% of the population in the world would be one.
This is the lineup for visitors. Iker Casillas starts in goal. Cucurella starts with Trent Alexander-Arnold in the fullback positions. Casemiro plays alongside Dani Ceballos in the centre of midfield, and leading the attack is Lautaro Martinez.
This is one of the things I've got in that
edging ever closer to
goal. At the time I did that,
on he goes, terrific. Martinez. And we haven't had to wait long.
So I had no idea what I was talking about. But now that we have 3D players,
well, here's the replay, and just look how quickly they go from defence to attack.
Keep opening off. But I did a session back in 1998. I was tasked to be the teacher up through 2050.
That keeps the attack
and what I found was by 2040 to 2050,
he's such a clever player, isn't he?
Natural defense.
Now it needs a good ball in.
Up to 75% of the population will
get out of the way, bro. It was not his fault.
And I keep hoping I'm wrong. Got a bunch of other things too, like we're becoming a agrarian society and grow our own food, make our own food, and that we would be able to make tools. This is one of the things I've done in this session. At the time I did that back in 1998, there weren't 3D printers.
Vitinha.
And so I had no idea what I was talking about. But now that we have 3D printers, you can print your own tools, print your own screwdrivers, wrenches, and a bunch of other things. I found that the
Martinez.
level of genius children was going to multiply by about 6 times more. It has the number of epileptic children it is going to multiply. It has the level of psychic ability is going to multiply. It has. There's just this growing thing of
and it's given away.
People more interested, people learning to be psychic, you know, to use their psychic ability, to use their ability. And a lot of the things that were in that 1998 session are coming true. I found out last year that Stephen Schwartz and his team had done that same testing back in 1995. I hadn't heard about that until last year. I got a copy of it. They found basically the same thing.
How much stuff the teachers is immutable and how much is in some ways predetermined. It's almost as if it has already happened. And I know that you've talked about this before, and I think it's Pawns of Time is is the idea that you use. I like to live in a world where everything is fully mutable, and there's a possibility tree with some with more likelihood, some with less likelihood, but that we actually fully control our destiny in totality, and it's going to be difficult to move me from that position. But I'm curious as to what you saw.
Costa Florida will be watched out. If they get Yellowstone National Park with a heavy earthquake, we can destroy the central U.S. And we have weather weapons. We can flood or dry out any type of, the Chinese have
Alexander Arnold.
Natural weapon.
That's been one really
the
smartly.
Israelis have it.
The Chinese have what type of weapon?
They have other weapons. One of the things that they've already shown is realize that in order to get into space, we need to have one world winter of some kind. And Bilderbergers, if you've heard of them, from decades ago, have been trying to get one world government. Many of our politicians are co-workers of the DOG, one world government. And in order to have that, you have to first destroy the supremacy of the U.S., then Russia, and then Greece and Italy, and then France and England.
It's a masterclass in finishing to complete his hat-trick.
Destroy the country, destroy the
Well,
education,
we can see it here again, and it's a good finish. But
destroy
for me,
the
it's all about the pressing
healthcare system,
forehand, being
you
disciplined,
destroy the
working
economy,
as a team to force
you
the mistake.
And divide the population into as many different competing factions as possible. So there is no United States anymore. It's just states. It's states of consciousness. It's states against states. It's red versus blue. It's all of the races are split, genders are split. Put people in as many warring silos as possible. And no longer is there a national identity. Make being a patriot something that is bad. Like that's the plan. That plan is certainly
Another goal, and surely there's no way they can throw this away now.
People been
Absolutely dominant.
But I did a session back in
Tells it. We've seen it.
1998.
One-way traffic as
I
the
was
game
tasked
resumes.
to be in the future up through 2050. And what I found was by 2040 or 2050, because of man-made natural disasters,
The defence quick to snatch it back.
up to 75% of the population in the world will be wiped out.
Stop that one in its tracks.
And I keep hoping upon. Found a bunch of other things too, like we would become an agrarian society and grow our own food, make our own tools, and all that. And that we would be able to make food.
It was looking good.
This is one of the things
Ultimately,
about
nothing
it.
doing.
At the time I did that, back in 1998, there weren't 3D printers.
Put that one away very
And
nicely
so I had no
indeed.
idea what I was talking about. But now that we have 3D printers, we can
4-2 the score then as we
write
kick
your own
off
food,
once more.
write your own screwdrivers, wrench it, and all that. And a bunch of other things. I found that the level of genius children was going to multiply by about 6 times normal. It has. The number of epileptic children is, and it is going to multiply. It has. The level of psychic ability is going to multiply. It has. There's just this growing thing in both people who are people learning to be psychic. To use their ability there, to use their ability. And a lot of the things that were in that 1998 session are coming true. I found out last year that Stephen Schwartz and his team had done that same tasking back in 1995. I hadn't heard about that until last year. I got a copy of it, and they found basically the same thing.
So how much about the future is fully mutable, and how much is, in some ways, predetermined? It's almost as if it has already happened. And I know that you talked about this before, and I think it's Pawns of Time is the idea that you use. I like to live in a world where everything is fully mutable, and there's a possibility tree with some with more likelihood, some with less likelihood, but that we actually fully control our destiny in totality, and it's going to be difficult to move you from that position. But I'm curious about what you thought.
The action
Back
restarts.
in
The second half's
2000,
underway.
I was I'd heard about the Mayan calendar and what was it, December.
Having a look.
World,
Safe and secure goalkeeping.
the whole world was going to end, all this other stuff. And I did that. What I found was that
incomplete.
it was
Nicely
tipping
won.
point.
That's
That
how to play. It'll be a throw
before
now.
then, we could do something about the future. But after that point, if
Coutinho.
we didn't do something about the economy, the ecology, and everything else, it was a tipping point. It was going to be downhill from there.
Short corner
And
it is.
the more we tried after that, the more fuel it became. And that we had just relinquished power
Oh, talk about
to
reactions.
the
How
others
good were his there?
and would not get the power
Such
back.
close range. That's a brilliant
So,
save.
what I found was that after that point, we would pretty much be in the hands of those who are doing what they're doing. And
better with the
the
ball.
common man has nothing to do about it now. Not because it can't be done, but simply because we don't have the power to do it.
Now, what would you say, so if I'm going to kind of, even though, all 1,000 respects to your well-developed and advanced abilities, I've been a psychonaut myself for a long time, so I use tools to actually help me access altered
Read the
state
situation well. Really good
guidance.
challenge.
And one of the things
Times to
that's
tackle
come through multiple
perfectly.
times is not that the situation isn't as dire as you bring it out to be, but there are benevolent forces, even all the way up to God, whatever that means to you. But like the rebels in Star Wars, we can directed on the Death Star, but the Force guided Luke Skywalker right into that narrow little place where we could actually do something, and that actually is still possible. But we'll get just the right amount of support at just the right amount.
In my session that I did in 98, what I found was that after about 2040, 50, somewhere around there, people got so fed up that they just rebelled. And basically, we got a unified government. Everything got fine. I mean, perfect society. We were a stable society for the remnant of people that were left. Life was great. By that time, we were already in space, and we were already unified, and for those that were left, life was great. And it came about simply because people finally woke up and said,
Getting closer.
put up with it.
Real opportunity.
But then it took us that long.
Magnificent defending.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's many of us, myself included, who've been trying to ring the Bears for years as well, and just say, like, hey, the British aren't coming, the British are here. And by the British, I mean those controlling consciousnesses, whether they're extra-dimensional, extraterrestrial, or fully terrestrial, but like they're here, and they're in the midst, and they're working, and I think there's a lot of people that are trying to ring that alarm bell and let people know. Where does AI play a role in this? Is there any kind of personal opinion or anything that you saw with this technology?
I have been dipping pretty seriously into AI myself. And AI, for I think most people, is just having conversations with it or something like that, or for most people, it's a pest. Because you get on the internet now, and you ask once about
got it back now.
automatic dog
Look
features.
at the room, they've got to attack now.
AI.
They couldn't
In
quite
the next
take
3 weeks,
advantage in the
you
end.
add for automatic dog, And
could be here.
And anyway, the AI is the best. But AI, I think, is going to help. Here's the negative part. It's going to help get rid of people. Because people aren't needed anymore. Okay? People won't be needed anymore. And natural disaster, starvation is one of them.
I'm back.
Take away their livelihood, and you've taken away social welfare. What's going to happen? But also that the AI will continue to grow in capabilities, and that it will become a major factor in human success. I think it's going to be a great thing. Watching this perspective.
So there was some other things that I'm going to talk about also, like what we can do to protect ourselves economically, protect ourselves socially, how we become more anti-fragile family, working their way out to greater community as a whole, and ultimately, eventually, how do we become right relation with the galaxy?
Easily here.
So, but I think it starts with yourself. And works your way so back to that. And before you get there, I'm going to explore some of the other kind of strange things that you see. One of which was involving the movie. So what did you see about the movie?
Casemiro.
Oh, they're done it good. The ETs are there.
Good spell of patient possession.
We're also there. We're also
vital tackle, and he's come away with it.
We're there. The ETs are there, and they have their facilities. They mainly want the raw mineral, raw material.
And here they go.
They do have facilities there. I haven't found.
Oh, it's lovely that he does well.
Those facilities on the moon seem to have any connection with the facilities on
fizzling
Earth.
out in the end.
I think they're just sort of factories to get raw materials.
Are they mining those raw materials from the south, or are they processing raw materials that they've traded for here?
I think those probably those. But I think mainly getting it from raw materials.
How did we get to Mars if we're there? Where we picked up on UFO craft and dropped off there? Because it doesn't seem like we're able, or at least doesn't know, to have the technological capacity to bring them in.
Cleared, but not far enough.
From what I've seen, we don't have people on Mars. But we have facilities there on
And that should do it. A two-goal positive to rest on until the end.
Or maybe reach.
Well, this is very interesting. So let's circle back. It seems like one of the problems is the starts to develop
If you do that at this level, a team's going to certainly take advantage of
some real intentional effort in doing that. I mean, you were mentioning how much it's improved your own life and livelihood, and obviously if we were able to do this, we could apply it to the service to yourself and the family, but also service to the greater
Casemiro.
Sure, but not just psychic ability. Also, you don't have to
really good interception to take the ball.
You don't need it if you want to speak for yourself. How do you be one of the survivors? Learn to survive. Okay? I'm not a prepper by any means.
That's not going to cut it.
I have everything I have.
On from this. Now, this has to be. And that puts a really impressive seal. What has been a fantastic performance.
Well, we can see it again now, and what a wonderful way to pass this is. It's perfect. And then he's still got to finish it. He just looks the keeper in the eye. Able to slip it past him. It's a really nice goal.
Well, that's the final whistle. A disappointing result today, and promotion looks further away than ever soon.
Yeah, not good enough really. Very tentative, second to too many balls. And you just got to presume that the pressure got to them. The next game is going to be key if they're going to get back on track.
To be in America, given the kind of risk profile of both, different global powers, like you mentioned, Russia having earthquake weapons. I'm curious also, I mean, would that involve them actually having a clandestine mission where they actually put something into the ground and it's like a seismic fracking device, or could they do this from a spy plane? And because like what is that capacity for that particular weapon?
I'm a Russian linguist, and I was listening to Russian news broadcast, because I watched the Russian channels in order to keep my Russian ability up. And there was this general they were interviewing, and he was drunk, and he just started spouting off about his earthquake weapon and how the Fukushima was just a test, and he was bragging about it. They finally just cut him off. The details of it were not broadcast, but I mean, it was clear he was telling the truth.
Yeah. In vino veritas, as the Latin says, and wine is truth. This was probably vodka, but not wine. Although having been to Russia, they do, like a lot of them, we associate vodka, but it's really whiskey that a lot of people like to drink, which is a fun, interesting fact. But anyway, that's a digression and unimportant to this conversation. All right, so back to the original question. Where in the United States
think is kind of the safest places to kind of set up shop.
If you're going to become self-sufficient, you have to get out of the city. You have to.
But out of the city in Florida is probably a bad idea, even because it's Florida, and there's a high risk of that Canary Island volcano coming. Well, maybe not high risk, but there's at least a risk.
I don't think the country wants to go to war with these massive weapons. I think would be an absolute last resort for them. Why destroy the United States if you can take it over? So I'm not really worried about the massive things. It's more things like COVID, and they're coming out and do stuff all the time. So anyway, the safest place I think would be to become self-sufficient would be out of the city. Now, there's still, some people say, "Oh, get gold." How many times in the U.S. have they confiscated the gold? The government confiscated the gold.
City that has so much
How
to
many
offer
times
the visitor,
in the US
and that
have they
applies to the
just
stadium as well, the
property?
Estadio do
I
Benfica.
own this
I'm
property,
Derek
I'm
Ray, and
self-sufficient.
joining me today on the commentary
The
gantry
government
is
comes in
Sue
like
Smith.
that.
And what we have on the menu is action from the
Yeah,
Division
I think that
Rivals
would
League.
create a
Tell us about
civil
your
war
pre-match
if they started
thoughts.
to appropriate
Well,
people's
both
property
managers will be
and try to
reminding
take
the
people's
players
gold.
that it's important to
These
get off to a
days,
quick
I'm
start,
not sure it
really
would.
attack the opposition and put them on the
this,
back foot from the off. Hopefully we'll get a good game.
This is the lineup for the home team. Alisson gets the nod in goal. Ashraf Hakimi plays with Nuno Mendes in the fullback positions. And handed the task of playing up front today is Kylian Mbappe.
Get rid of the police, then there won't be any more crime.
This is how the visitors will
Everybody
set up
says,
today.
yeah,
Reece
good idea.
James starts with
Oh, it's not a
Cucurella
good
in the
idea.
fullback positions.
Yeah.
Dani Ceballos plays alongside Piotr Zielinski
But,
in central midfield.
that-
And lining
that
up
has
through
been
the
going
middle
on
in
for
attack
quite a while.
today
We've
is
been
Kylian.
made to be afraid.
And the keeper is able to deal with the danger.
Before you
Well, it wasn't first-class distribution.
let your kids run around at midnight and all this, now that you can't let them out in the front yard. And you have to be afraid of them. And that's part of the psychosis.
Yeah. I think here, I think Zoom was a stroke of genius when they came up with that stroke. Here is the one that get rid of that. It's a virus that's fun like everything.
Back underway. 1-0 it is.
For the common person, you think, oh, then it should fear. For those people, they think, oh, we found a new way to control their life.
Yeah. All right. So if we were going to develop these methods, what is the way that we would develop the methods, and then what is the application? What are applications that you use that will actually be able to improve your economic stability, like improve your own life? So how do you think? What are the applications that you look?
I think becoming self-sufficient, even if you stay in the city,
And a throw-in it's
becoming
going to be.
self-sufficient.
Well, no excuse to get the ball away
They have
from
to go
your
to a
own
restaurant.
throw-in.
Yeah, they've
Okay.
given that away far
You
too
can cook
easily.
rice, you can
Definitely
boil
should
water,
have
you
kept
can
it
cook
simple.
rice.
Real chance.